Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Doodoo Bird. It is late. Come on in, even if it's just two of us. I'm a day early. Well, what's going on tomorrow? Hello, Doodoo Bird. Hi, you're a day early. Am I? Look like it's just me and you, Doodoo Bird. I'm a day early. Did I do it wrong? Let me look at my look and see. No, we should be good to go. Yeah, it's the second. Oh, I got it on the wrong day. Thanks, Doodoo Bird. Ooh. Let's see. I had it on the 3rd. It's supposed to be today. Okay, we're good now. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. Gracias. Yeah, I do. I have on my PJs. Because after this, I'm going to bed. Hello, come on in. I know it's a weirdness. Hello, Del. Hello, Media Markled. Come on, computer. Don't start this tonight. Be on your best behavior. I'm making you a little something. Your notification said tomorrow at 9:30 my time. Yeah, it was the wrong time. I meant today. Oh, I want to give it up for Ralph. Ralph the Rise Energy Atlas. He had a live earlier tonight. It was great. How's everybody doing? Hello, Dictator. Thank you, Doodoo Bird. And April Fool's jokes, please. Do I still have it? Okay, no, it's today. Do I have the time right now on Doodoo Bird? It's not April Fool's. It was an April Fool's joke. Spilling on my PJs. Ooh, so I decided to get up before I go to bed It is midnight here, and to do a live. Harry and Meghan is in some trouble. They're in trouble. They're bullies. And it's all Meghan's fault. We know that, right? We know it's not Harry, but Harry's getting in trouble on behalf of his wife. Right? Hello, Heather. I'll watch on replay, Ralph. Yes, it was good. He's so funny. Hold on one sec. He's hilarious. He's not monetized yet. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with YouTube. Okay. So, how do you know, Duty Bird? She got a notification? Yeah, he does. He needs consistency with views, but he's at almost 2,000 subscribers. And so at 1,000, he should be monetized by now. I don't know how to tell him to fix it or what to do, but I thought he was supposed to receive something in the mail. Y'all hear a little bit? They were reading Jack and the Beanstalk. You know what? I want to thank you guys for my super chats and making it rain. I want to thank you for coming out this late to hang out with me. Hello, Chevron. There he is. I was just talking about you, Ralph. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I was telling everyone that you did a live tonight, and it was great. And they said they were going to go watch the replay. And we're trying to get you monetized too, so we can get you those super stickers, super chats. I know. Ralph's in the building. Ralph, I did not mean to say anything in Maggie's chat today. Did you see me just typing and saying stuff? Oh, look. Yep, Ralph will get some of these soon. Thank you, Doodoo Bird, for my super chat. Everybody put hearts in the in the chat for our Doodoo Bird. I don't know, because Danny Robinson, she hasn't been seen. And so I don't think it's that. I would definitely get in contact with them, because you should have got your Google thing in the mail like a pin, and should be on your way. It's weird. Oh, there we go. Good. Hello, Queen's Guard. Yeah, I didn't mean to be all in her chat today, telling her that about the Ada thing. She forgot, like she forgot. Like she forgot. Like she totally forgot that that she said on the phone to me, on the phone, that on the phone to me, that Bonnie was the one that hey Ralph.
Hello, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm
Enjoyed your
great.
live?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I think I gotta like start maybe appearing on the camera more percentage of the time, so that way YouTube can see that it's an actual person on camera, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna do that for a couple of days. Uh, but yeah, I
Also, try to do like a search on YouTube. Put in um like something about monetizing. Put in like a search, or I'll search it for you. But put in a search to make sure you've checked all the boxes and done everything you needed to do, because you should have your little sticker bar by now, even if you're not showing your face. So maybe YouTube it and see what they say. Maybe we missed something.
Okay. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. But I said it was a good thing you popped out because on Maggie's panel, like I was trying to like say it without saying it. See,
Right,
the problem with her is like if I be too direct, then it's like I'm insensitive and not taking her like it's hard trying to get somebody to see something and play nice at the same time, sugarcoat it, right? Because I really want to just be like, Maggie, you hosted a live about this woman putting somebody in a damn coma. You don't think you owe her an apology? Like that's how I would put it to somebody else. Like you
right,
literally, you know what I mean? You don't know what type of mental anguish you might have caused this person, as they sit there and listen to you do a 6 hour live saying that she put somebody in a coma, you
right.
know? And then she tried to make it seem like she didn't remember
You didn't remember.
I said, "Oh my god!" It,
And you were very nice. Like you were like trying to explain it to her in a way that, like you said, where she won't get offended.
right, and then it's like, okay, let me try a different direction. Let me try to have patience. I was like, and I and I'm looking like I want to be like, somebody help me out here. Like Bonnie, just come on up and tell her, like, you know what I mean? Because like this is dealing with someone else's feelings, right? And then like whenever you do speak about it, she likes to try to tell me like, you know, well, you're not Bonnie, so shut up, and like with Golden, like you're not Golden. I asked Golden, not you. And
Right,
it's like, okay, let me, this is her panel. Let me play the proper way. Because I don't
right.
want her to, fall back into that attack thing, right? So
Exactly.
I play a certain, level and give her a certain feedback. I know she's ready to bite somebody's head off. Like
Yes,
she is ready. Like that mean girl is in there ready
it's
to snap.
there.
She,
She can't help it. It's there.
she's like, she's like, Golden, you got a problem with me? Golden, you
Yeah,
got a problem with me? I said,
yeah.
oh shit, let me
I
not.
said, oh, poor Golden.
And I was like, let me fall back a little bit. He's like, you got something to say to me? I'm like, oh, come on. And I'm trying to sugarcoat it and be like, no, Maggie, you looking at it the wrong way. And then she'll snap on me like, oh, you taking up for her? You talking for her now? You want to? No, okay, all right, Maggie.
Because you're right, she did. She did like what you said, a 6 hour live on Bonnie. Well, like I said, basically, guys, what we're talking about is Maggie, really quick, about Bonnie and the whole Ada situation and blaming Bonnie for putting Ada in the coma. That was the whole story. That was the whole bit as to why Ada was in a coma, was because it was Bonnie's fault, because she was in the chat saying that she didn't believe Ada. And then here comes Steph with her lying ass talking about that Ada is in a coma. And so today, Maggie kind of forgot that she was blaming Bonnie, because she did tell me on the phone pretty much
She
that
forgot the whole. She forgot the whole live, Lady Leticia. She said Bonnie's in the comment section saying stuff, and she's like, Bonnie, you better go over to Stephanie. You looking for somebody to take a video down? Ain't nothing over here for you. I'm like, what the? It was. I wanted to be like Maggie. Yeah, you tore her down for 6 hours. You don't remember? But she's so defensive right now, and that's why I
she
say
is.
that's the problem with healing, right? When someone's healing, you have to have that patience, I guess, to say, okay, you don't see it now, but you'll see it, right? And
Exactly.
she was fighting tooth and nail, not wanting to see it because she was already on the defensive. She's already sitting up there trying to, see if Golden got a problem with her. Like, Golden, you got something you want to get off your chest? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right now. I'm like, what the hell?
Yes. I said, oh, Colton, you better run.
Yeah, and she's like, and I don't know how, like, I don't know how we like, but as I sit there, like, I'm trying to help her see it, like, whatever reason that's making you speak out about the Ronnie situation, maybe that's the same thing that made her speak out about the Mike situation. Maybe it's
Exactly.
a buildup. Maybe it was the straw that broke the camel's back, and this was the one that she couldn't take, or you got men that hit on women all day long. You walk
Right.
into an establishment, you walk into the
Oh, yes.
Walmart. I listen, I was in Michigan. I had a guy walk up to me in Michigan, and I don't know, whatever it was, he was like, "Hey, I know you know where the big butt women at." I was like, "What the hell is you talking about?" He's like, "Come on, I know you know where the big butt women at." I'm like, "Yo, what is you talking about?" And as I'm sitting there, like, the way I go about things is so like light, right? So I'm just like, I don't even like them big butt. I'm playing it off. You know what I mean? Like, nope, I don't
Right.
even like them like that. You know what I mean? But in my mind, I'm thinking like, what will possess a stranger
I
to come
know.
up and say that to somebody, right? And like you'll see it in Walmart now. Like I walk in Walmart and somebody will literally walk up to me and invite themselves in my personal space, like start touching on my, oh, what is this? This is a
Yeah.
nice crystal right here. I like this crystal. And they'll just start grabbing, like
Just
touching.
touching it.
Yeah. And I'll be like, what the hell? Like, nobody respect boundaries, like people's space anymore. Like it's almost
Exactly.
like in the minds of some people, everything is on display, everything is for sale. Maybe even your ass. It's like they shopping no matter where they at, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Wow,
so,
that's interesting. A guy walked up to you and asked you that.
but it be
I'm
happening
not
like that.
surprised.
Like it happens like that. The mindset of people, it happens like that, right? You'll get a lot of people who automatically, like, the first thing they'll do is make a sexual innuendo joke, right? Whereas though it has that hint of that to it, right? There's a lot of people that play like joke like that in the world. Now
Yes.
this is also a test to open up the door to see how much they can get away with you,
Yes,
which is a
they do.
scary door to open up. Like, I used to approach relationships differently because people used to be like, "Man, you different." Like when I first started relationships, I had to read the body language because I didn't know when to move in for a kiss. I didn't know
Right.
when to do certain things. So I would be the one to ask, like, you mind if I kiss you right now? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to respect people's boundaries that much, to where as though everything was a question. Now, of course, sometimes that's like you're always asking, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
because
After a while, you don't have to ask.
after a while, right? But for the respect level of it, to me, it's like I'm always asking, like I have to ask because I don't want to, cross those boundaries. And I know, like, women do little things, they tuck their hair behind their ear, they bat their eyes, they turn their head sideways, laugh at your joke, even though it wasn't that funny. Like, there's certain things that gives, body language gives the tell of certain variations of flirtatiousness, but it's also a level to that. because what men will have is what people call prison dreams, right? To where as though everything that somebody say, they like, yeah, she wants me.
It's
Like a
sexual.
girl, yeah, like somebody can be like, how you doing today, Mr. Boston? Yeah, she wants me. Like everything becomes that, like, like for some reason, like everybody that speak to him is like, yeah, they want me. They know how good I look. So it's trying to read, you know.
Yes. You know, I said this about Ronnie Bo. What did I say? I said, did you say that women, the women that you're giving your number to for your book is flirting with you? And he said, yes. And I said, I can see that. I said, because you're very nice looking. Now, I told you too, Ralph, that you were very nice looking. But that didn't mean that, like, I was I'm married, date you or something like that.
Right. It's a
It's a compliment.
compliment. It's a compliment. It's not to be taken like, she wants me. And see, and that's the thing that I was picking up from Ronnie Bo too, is when he was speaking about, connecting with these women, it was more so like, even in the book, he put it in the book, like Shane was jealous of these women responding to me and how these women was responding to me. And he was jealous of that. Right. And I'm thinking to my mind, they want money. Like their whole manipulation is money, using the controversy for money. They know
That's what
what
he
that.
said about Shane.
Yeah, in the book, he was saying like
Right,
Shane,
Shane.
Shane,
Wow.
who also, is Mike Robinson or something like that on Cash App, uh,
Right.
right. So he was saying like that Shane was jealous because Shane says something in a text message on the line of like all the women that's sending him money, like, uh, so he was saying like Shane was jealous of the women that was, showing him love, right? Which it only tells you the mindset of the person, right? When you start
Yes.
saying like that another man is jealous of you about women, that's a test to yourself, like something that
Yes.
you look at and you battle with, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So in another video, he told somebody else, he was like, he said something on the lines of like, now I wouldn't F your girl or nothing like that. But when he said it, it was more so like a joking tone. But then he
Yeah.
was like, no, 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 I'm joking, But why would you say that? Why would you joke with somebody about, fornicating with their,
With their
their
woman. Oh my
exactly. That
God.
mean like now you're putting that in my mind to think about you doing something like that, and now I also know that that crossed your mind too, right? So
Yes.
a lot of these people, they tell on their self. This is
They
why
are.
it says like in this time your tongue is going to be your sword, but it's a double-edged sword. They're using their words to tear people down, but they don't realize that they're also telling on their self in the process,
Exactly.
you know. And that's why
Exactly.
it's a fun time for us because we get to point it out and look at it and
Yes.
laugh about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm laughing about how foolish they tell on themselves. You can't
Yes.
do nothing but if I'm just the one pointing it out, you can't be mad at me because I pointed it out that Jaguar said that she drives around with, women that might be performing sex acts. Like she says that out her own mouth that she might be a dominatrix, that she might have transported some women or so on and so forth.
Yes.
Right. So you're mad at the person who's pointing out the things that you're saying. Right.
Right.
And then that you got to think about that. Like really think about that. This person is they not mad at their self for saying it. They mad at you for catching it.
Right. Exactly. For catching it.
Right. For catching it. Right. Ronnie Bo, the fact that he's got that GM label that he keeps on trying to sell, right? He says that it's for grind mode. But if he gets in front of the right people, he'll say it's for God's mafia or goddess mob or something like that. Whatever is going to get you to buy this GM logo, this GM, which actually stands for grind mode, right?
Oh,
now, or grind mob. He got it from grind mob, but he changed it to grind mode, right? Now, here's the problem with it. It's a gang affiliated shirt because he changed the G into a 6 to represent the 6 points, the 6 point star for the GD or whatever group he's a part of.
the
And this is
gang in
right,
Chicago.
right.
Yeah.
And this is how you know he's a part of the group, because even when he got on Maggie's panel, he took a picture of his nephew, his unalive brother's child, and he had the nephew throwing up a pitchfork, right?
Oh,
That means you're raising your brother's nephew in the ideal image of the gang. And your brother's been gone for how long? So that means you're the one who's portraying this image
yes.
to the
You're
youth.
the role
You're
model.
exactly. So now we got to think like, is these are the people that we're showing favor to in the community in order to, groom the next level of our society, of our men, of our gang mentality. Look at big homie CC. He's gang affiliated, talking about, on the homies, on the homies, on the homies, right? This is gang affiliated talk.
Yeah.
So no wonder why we can't move forward
Right.
collectively. Look at what's going on. You got all these gang members excelling in life. This will put the
Mhm.
mindset on a youth to say, well, if I want to make it, I got to join a gang. Chris Brown's
Exactly.
in it, Soldier Boy's in it, all these different other people are in it. So it's like, shoot, if I come be a part of that, I'll make it.
Right.
That's a scary thing.
That's a very scary. It's very scary. Ooh,
Now it's like,
very.
now it's like, prison rules ain't just in prison anymore.
No, they
It's
came
in the
outside.
world. Yeah. Everybody's fighting or trying to take something. It's scary out here. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I don't want to get taken.
Okay.
It's scary. They don't got no age limits on this. They taking whatever
No,
out
they
here.
don't.
It's getting scary now. It's
Yeah.
getting scary. I seen some news, people was like doing stuff to older women. I was like, what the hell? He did what to his grandma? Y'all
Yeah.
know, it was
Ooh,
like, what the heck is going on? So, the world is scary.
it
I seen
is.
a I seen a 10-year-old, clothesline his teacher over a Game Boy. I said, you know what? I got to work out. I got one of these kids might try me. Let me work out.
Okay.
Let me make sure I stay in shape. For real. I'm telling
That's
these
good.
the youth is coming at you different now. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I knew it. My son tried to get me one time when he was
Uh-huh.
younger. He tried to set me up. You know, I seen it coming though. I said, Nasir, now if you go to school and try to tell them that I whoop you, I want you to know ahead of time that I already called them and told them that you would try something like this. He got so mad at me. He was like, that was my only other resource. I said, so you was going to try that, huh? So that's what you was going to try to do, huh? He was like, that was my only other option was, I said, oh. He said he was 9 years old. He was about 10 years old. You know how the household is when you got a 10-year-old boy going through adolescence.
Yes.
And he was like, he said something. He was like, my only other option was to get the police involved. I said we can get the police involved. I can call them right now and tell them that you don't want to be in the house no more. He said, no, because that makes me look like the bad guy and not you. I said, what the I said, oh, so you really thought this shit you really put some thought to this, huh? You little
Yes.
badass. Because this the level of conversations that I used to have with my kids,
That's
like I
awesome.
still have that. Like I think he called me the other day and he was like, Dad, I applied for a job and I got it. So he just, just like last week, he was telling me how he applied for a job and got it. So, and I just had to send money for their graduation because they graduate in May. Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
both my oldest sons graduate high school in May. So
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's
thank you.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they did it. I ain't do it. I ain't no,
Yeah.
no sense of congratulating me. Saying I
We do
didn't
a
do
little
it.
bit of something.
I didn't do it. Yeah, I just, but all the sitting, the long talks. Cause hey, listen, I know I was doing a good job. My son looked at me. He said, "Dad, sometimes when I be bad, you just gotta whoop me." I said, "Oh yeah, it's working. It's working." Cause I would just say, I would talk to him, like I would scold them, talk to them,
Yes.
sit them at the table. Listen, we got to talk. He
Hmm.
said, "Listen, man." He said, "Dad, sometimes you just gotta whoop me. You talk too much. You just gotta whoop me sometimes." Um, that was
That
like,
is something
yeah, he was
for a
like
child to say that
6 or 7.
they want discipline, you know?
He wanted to go outside and play. He would
Oh,
the lectures be like sitting down talking for hours. You got to stay next to me. I'm talking
woo.
to him for hours at the table or something. He like, look, just whoop me and let me run along or
Yeah.
something. And
Let's speed this up.
yeah, is it any faster process? Can I just opt out for the whooping?
Oh, that is too funny.
But that's why I say like, and to me that's the greatest thing we have is developing our youth, right?
Yes.
Being a part of that development, watching certain traits, watching certain characteristic traits that you installed, whether it be table manners, whether it be politeness, mannerisms, how to act in the public, watching, being a part of that part of creation, installing that into the youth. I think that's like the greatest gift ever
Yes.
is, to be able to have that ability to teach our
Hmm.
youth, whether it be by exemplary measures or whether they just look up to you and just take your advice or whatever. I think that's like,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's
So,
beautiful. It is. It's a beautiful thing to be able to instill, things into youth, just youth and period. Not just your kids, but all kids. And I think it's awesome.
yeah, especially now coming out of that, do as I say, not as I do type of
Yeah.
mindset. Like, those times was different, like as a kid I was a why, I think a lot of us grew up in that why,
Yeah. Oh
asking
yeah.
why. So it's like, once they coming out of that and trying to learn everything anew to not only reach the kids but also like be able to communicate with them. uh
Communicate.
our parents used to tell us they always wanted the truth, but then when we gave them the truth we got in trouble for the truth.
Yeah.
So then it's like, damn, if I'm gonna get in trouble for the truth I should have just tried with a lie. And then communication gets mixed up because it's like, damn, if I'm gonna get in trouble for the lie and the truth I might as well go with the lie, see what I can get
Right.
away with,
I didn't do it.
right? So it's like a lot of our young and everything, they're on some like, it's better to it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Does
Yes.
that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's a lot of them right now that's in that mindset. Like, listen, I'm about to sneak out, have a blast. When I come back, I apologize. What I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get
I'll deal with
past
the
this.
consequences when I get home.
Right, right. And that goes back to the 80s and the 90s, the
Hmm.
rebelliousness that we had, right? We didn't know that
Yes.
it was going to grow into our offsprings that much more, the rebel that's inside of us, due to all of these minor setbacks of not being able to sow our wild oats or whatever.
Right.
uh I guess back in the day, what they say, it was the preachers' kids that was doing the most in the church.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. Like, that's a truth, but
Yeah,
it's a
they were the
tell
bad
though.
ones. They're the ones who were sneaking out at night and doing
Yeah, look at Ray J ass. Ray J
okay.
got a Ray J whole family supposedly church going, and he out here making whole videos,
Yes. He
in a
switched
whole
up.
community. And but I say that to say, like, I think we fell out of touch of having that level of understanding for and with one another as far as parenting goes, as far as the world that we live in. We're not in the same world anymore, right? But somehow in our mind, some people are still trapped in a 80s type mindset, a 90s type
Yes, it's
mindset.
not
And
80s
they're
anymore.
right, they're trying to raise the kids with that mindset. And it's 2025. These things is, you know what I mean?
You are so right. Like my mom. I said, Mom, She was trying to tell me something. I said, Mom, you're in my house, in my room. Get out. I said,
Right,
this is my baby. She said, we didn't do that back in the
right.
day.
Back
I
in
said,
the
well, breastfeeding freaked her out.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
said, get out of my room.
Because it's like back in the day, all this stuff was taboo,
Yeah,
right?
like,
They
yeah.
had their old remedies that they were passing, through the, circulation, but it was taboo. Now more things is out in the open,
Mm-hmm.
people it ain't the same, right?
Mm-mm.
So like women back in the day is like, what? Y'all allowed to talk? You talking about that? It's
Yeah, you can't
like
even talk
running.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like running across old slaves or something. What? They let y'all talk about that now? You allowed to talk about that stuff? Oh no. Back in the day, we could never. Mm-mm. They would get us. They would tie us up by our feet if we talked about that stuff.
Yeah.
What? You could read? You allowed to read out loud? They letting you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
but that's why I say the mind is a terrible thing to waste. You have to be
Yeah.
able to move and advance in your mind with the times, right? A
Yes.
lot of people don't get out of that. They're stuck listening to the same music of their time. They're
Yes.
not trying to
Jaguar.
right, not trying to embark on a new level of music, the change that would play. Look at everybody that's around Jaguar. Mike talks about all his old accolades. Ronnie Bo talks about all his old accolades. Jaguar
Reminiscing.
talks exactly. They're stuck in a certain mind,
Yes.
a certain period in their time, their glory days. Some people call them
Yes.
the wonder years.
Exactly.
They're stuck in them. They trying to live.
Completely stuck and still trying to revisit that, but that's not you anymore.
Yeah.
It's a whole new you.
Listen, anybody who and Jaguar strikes me as that type of person. You remember back in the day when you was a kid, you'll ride by a big mansion and you'll be like, "That's gonna be my house when I get older."
Yeah.
You'll see a big house, a nice car, or something, or you'll be looking at a magazine and you'll be like, "That's mine. I claim that. That's mine." Right? Jaguar is still doing that at 48 years old.
Yeah.
She's still riding by big houses talking about something that's gonna be my house when I get older. You
Yeah.
is older.
That's
If you don't cut it out, talk about something. When I grow up,
when
when
I
I
grow
grow
up.
up, you grown. Stop playing with us. When she grow up. You're not no Toys
Ah,
R Us kid. You better stop playing in our face.
yes. When I get older, when I grow up, I'm gonna
Right.
get that. Hmm.
So it's
Do
like you
you think
gotta
they
be
broke up? Did
uh
I ask you that already?
no, you didn't. I don't know what to say with that anymore. Like I'm almost like at this point I'm like they need to, but I don't know what to say about it anymore because like whether they did or whether they didn't, they're going to use it for the beneficial of their benefit. So if it's not a breakup, then they're going to say we did it all for the Tubi movie, right? So we were doing all of this because we were on scene, we were on set. This was part of the show, right? And
Right.
then if they are broken up, Jaguar has got too much pride to let people know right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That things ain't on a good foot for her. She's got too much. Look, Maggie done left. She ain't
I
got no
know.
friends. They stuck on Alyasha lonely ass page watching, you know,
Okay.
all that with 7 people. You know what I mean? Like she doing so bad right now. She cannot afford to let y'all know that Odell left her ass. That is too much at
Oh,
one.
don't
Listen
feel
to me.
sorry for her.
Listen to me. That is too much at one time. First, they find out the plaque don't got my name on it, and it's a
Right.
bullshit ass award. Then they find out I'm in the Diddy lawsuit. Then they find out this, and now Maggie done left my ass. Like this is too much. Like
Yeah.
if I let them know Odell left me, hell no, I'm gonna be the crazy cat lady. Like she is not trying to. She can't. She can't. Remember, she was just now had, she was like, I'm gonna buy a puppy, and we finally found the place of our dreams. And I don't know how I let Odell talk me into this, but I finally signed a contract, and we in the jacuzzi right now. Odell, you want to tell him that we in the jacuzzi right now? Like she showed out too much, you know what I'm saying? Eating at the
Yeah.
restaurant, trying to,
Mhm.
she showed out too much.
Steak and potatoes.
Yeah, she can't tell you
Shrimp.
now that she damn near back on the street living from place. What?
Right.
Lady Letitia, you think she can go backwards now? She done made fun of so many people.
Okay.
You in that nice house all comfortably. She talking about sending CPS to your house, and now she ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of. She can't tell you that Odell left. She can't tell you that. We all know Odell was getting them checks. We know damn well she can't let you know that the check is gone. She can't tell you, Lady Letitia, she can't tell you the check is gone.
Gone.
Shit. That'll change up everything.
Yeah. I was
We
like,
have to,
ooh, I almost feel sorry for her. She gonna be okay.
fuck around, be in the soup kitchen next week. She gonna be in the soup kitchen next week.
In the line, in the
Yeah.
line.
Lying to us, talking about something. And I'm here helping, giving out food to the homeless. No, you is the homeless. You is the person eating the food. She doing bad right now. She ain't in no
Yeah.
studio. She ain't got that black refrigerator behind her no more.
Yeah.
It's all bad. She got Kimmy calling her phone. She's scared as hell.
Yeah.
King World done sent some people to Ayasha crib. I knew it was bad after she hid in the bathroom that one day. She talking about, I'm in the outhouse. I'm out, and they trying to send people to Ayasha. I said, oh yeah, she dirtball bad, right? And you hiding in somebody's bathroom, and the police is knocking on the door right now.
Oh,
I said, oh yeah, it's all bad.
yeah.
I never want to put nobody in that type of situation, but
No.
listen, turn yourself in, girl.
Turn
Clear that.
yourself in.
That's
I
the
was just
only
gonna say
way.
that.
That's the only
Just
way you're gonna feel like you don't have a care in the world is to turn
yes.
yourself in, get everything over with. That way you ain't gotta look over your shoulder.
Shoulder.
Cause right now,
Yes, Ralph.
this whole run, this whole chase, if you don't show up to court, that's another warrant for your ass.
Mhm.
I don't know if she going for America's Most Wanted or America's Dumbest Criminal or whatever. She working her way for something. They about to give her a movie. I tell you that much. She gonna get a movie out of this. Might not be the one she like.
Right.
She gonna
Might
get
not be
one.
that one.
It ain't gonna be the one she like, but she gonna get one
Ah,
for real.
oh shoot.
I almost got away with it or something because I don't know. And then it's like, think
I would
about
turn
it.
myself in.
I
Just
would. I would not
yes.
be running like that. That is too much.
Mm-mm.
That is too much. And see, like a woman is different because her gases, her stomach, her bowels,
Yeah.
everything. Like you can't be on a run eating the way
Right.
you eating. You on a run with bowel move. You gotta fart and shit all the time. Like you is not on a run like that. Like you know how many days you might have to go without eating when you on a run. Like you might hit a whole 5-hour trip where you can't even stop to use the bathroom. Like, come on, you cannot. You are a whole lady, 48 years old. You cannot be on the run.
No,
She
that
out here trying to live her life
yeah.
like Medea.
Yeah, you
You
trying to
trying.
be famous and you on the run. You can't do
You
both.
can't. You can't be 48 and on the run. Hell no. You cannot be 48 and on the run. That is a different type of chase.
Talking about having a child.
For real, blood pressure off the yin yang. You got to take water pills. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you got to take blood pressure pills, water pills,
You need
diet.
your meds, you
Right.
need your stuff, and they'll have it
Yeah.
for her.
They knock on that door at the wrong time when you got the gout and your ankles is all swollen up and shit. Come on. You know, you got a different blood circulation. You got a different flow through the body when you get older. You ain't able to get up and go. You know,
No,
one session might put you out for 3 days. It's a different approach when you get older. You know,
it is. Really is. It
you out
really
there.
is. Like you were saying earlier, the fruit and the vegetables and the salad. It's like you can feel it.
You can
Like
feel it, right? And everybody know fruit give you gas. Yeah, you pooting everywhere trying to eat fruit this summer. We don't need that. We don't need you eating fruit salad bowls and pooting everywhere, Jaguar. We need your ass. And she ain't even got a safe place. We need to get you somewhere safe. You could have been something. For
yeah,
real, because
for
everybody wanted
real.
something to hold on to. After we lost, well, I ain't gonna say we, but after black women lost the election with the whole thing, y'all
Yeah,
was looking for another face to hold on to.
yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. Get Maria face off of there. Maria, what you doing? You stalking me?
Maria's hanging out.
Right, Maria, Maria. That damn smile get me every time.
She does have a beautiful smile.
See that? Don't put it back up. Damn. Come on. Don't put it back up. Shit. Put the smile back up. Got you again. No, don't put it back up. That's what I'm saying. Messing with people mental with that smile. But no, the like in this world, like period, I think we have to take a grander notion of each other. You know, it was like, think about it, in the 90s and the early 2000s, when we were finding out the lack of care that people were having in third world countries.
Yeah.
We was appalled by it. Like, what? They don't care about their youth in China. What? They just so overpopulated that they don't care if a body just dropped. What? Like,
Yeah.
we couldn't think. And now this shit happening here in America, where
Okay.
people don't even care no more. Like, where a Popeye's chicken sandwich is more important than your life. That's crazy.
Oh,
That
wasn't
is
that some stuff?
crazy. They was out there
Oh, they
shanking
was
each
fighting
other for
over that chicken.
Popeyes. When I seen that, I knew I didn't want a piece of that shit. I said, any chicken that's doing that got something in it. That shit got crack in it. Any hey, Layla, any piece of chicken that make you do that. Nope, don't want it. Don't want it.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes. Leave that alone.
They out there fist fighting for chicken. Nope, I don't want no chicken like that.
Yeah.
If chicken's so good it's gonna make me shank you, hell no, I don't want no chicken like that.
Right. Exactly. That was crazy.
Jag, 48 years old, still talking about going to the strip club. I said, what?
Was she? Oh.
Some if she seen
No way.
thinking about this strip club. What type of life is you living?
A strip club. Wow. I heard that she has a high sex drive.
Is that what you want to call it? Is that what you want to call it? Libido? You want she out here eating oysters and shit? No, Lady Leticia. That's not no high sex drive. That is nasty. That is nasty. Okay, high sex drive just means you know we got to work a little bit. That's what high sex drive mean. High sex drive is not you telling your boyfriend to watch Boy on Board and then let you put it in his. But that is not no high sex drive.
I know. What is, yeah, that's no.
Now, if I'm I don't mind going to town for hours. Some people can eat a peach for an hour. I get it. High sex drive, that's fine. Some people could work with that. But when you start talking about putting thumbs in places they don't belong,
Okay.
that's not a high sex drive, Lady Latif. That's nasty.
It is. It's
Somebody trying to
disgusting.
convince you to do some things to you that'll make them look at you funny later on. That's what they want to do. Listen, everything.
Confused.
Yeah, make it look at you funny, like you sitting there talking about something, and they making you like you done did some shit, and then they like, yeah, and you liked it too. Your toes curled up and stuff like that, and you sitting there like, fuck, maybe I did like it. My toes did kind of curl up. No, hell no. You don't explore those avenues with that type of person. She's a manipulative. Anything
Yeah,
that you
she's
do with her is not gonna be safe. Okay,
no.
I'm telling you. If you happen to, eat the cake, she gonna tell everybody that you ate the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So you can't just eat the groceries with this one. You can't just explore every avenue with this one. She gonna tell, if not record it. Like, you got to be careful.
Oh
Your
yeah.
secrets are not safe. Now everybody like a little freak leak every now and again, but when the freak get leaked, shit, count me out. Count me out.
Right. I know.
She out here exploiting people's weaknesses and shit. And
Yeah.
she's the one trying to persuade you to do it. She's on Facebook selling the cootie cat. She trying to give it up any way possible. And that's scary to me. How you telling on everybody else giving it up and giving it up at the same time? Damn, just pick one. Do you you want to be a part of the giver uppers, or you want to take them down? Which one you want to be?
Well, you guys were talking about
I'm
Goomba.
about to leave. I'm about to leave. You keep on trying to put this person up there. You keep on trying to put this person up on the screen. I'm about to leave. I'm about to leave. I'm going to bed.
But yeah. Then wasn't she with Goomba, but then she had some other guy that they were trying to help, but then she was sleeping with them.
Exactly. When she was sneaking in the houses and stuff like that. That's the craziest thing, is to actually have the person that you say you care about and you putting them around mad people that slept.
Right.
Like, at least if you gonna at least tell me, like, hey, listen, I had something with this guy, da 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 da. At least when I go around them, I can, still feel secure, as opposed to this person laughing at me like, yeah, I done did this with her and that with her, and you sitting there like, come on. That's the worst thing you could do, is put a guy in a situation like that where he in the
Yeah.
room with other people that done knocked you down. That is, and he
Yeah.
don't know that. If I'm in the room with people that knocked you down, at least tell me shit. I want to be able to walk up and joke with them like, yeah, hey, but I ended up with her, huh? I still got her, huh?
I would be so weirded out.
I wouldn't even be weirded out. Like, I would actually be talking shit, joking. Like, and what did you do? Did you rub her feet? Because she like when people rub her feet. Did you do that? Because I do it. Did you? Oh no, shit. That's probably why I still got her. That's probably why I still got her. I'm gonna make jokes about it. I'm sorry. Listen, hey, everybody gonna do what they gonna see. You keep on putting the picture. I'm gone. I'm
Maria, okay,
leaving.
wait, she has something to say.
Nah, she ain't got nothing to say. She ain't got nothing to say. Stop it. She do not have nothing to say.
3 in a row. Yes.
We're gonna block you, Maria. We're gonna block you from the chat. We don't want to mute her. Nah, I'm joking. What did not say? Mute her in the chat. Stop showing her picture. Mute her. Nah, I'm joking.
Oh boy.
I'm just trying to tell you. You gotta smile more out here in this world.
Yes.
Smile more. Too many people out here hurting.
It is. It is. It's a lot of mental. It's a lot of people hurting.
That's why I
That
be
is so
ducking.
true.
That's why I be ducking. I be ducking that negativity. I'm telling you. It's so heavy. It's so thick in this world right
It
now.
is thick.
Like, people literally walk up and they'll just be like, they'll just tell you nowadays. They'll gladly tell you
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah. I'm going through.
Oh, through the comments.
No, I mean, people just come up and tell you, yeah, I'm not doing good today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When people bring you their negative quick, they won't bring you none of that positive. Ain't nobody out there
No.
talking about them celebrations, going to them. They ain't gonna tell you they just went on vacation last week. They telling you about all the money they spent on vacation and how they, I just spent I just wasted so much money. Oh my goodness, da 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 da. No, tell me about the cruise that you took. Tell me about the
Yeah.
shuffleboard that your ass was playing. Shit, I want to hear about the love boat. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear about people will bring you their sad stories before they bring you the happy stories. Like that's why I say if you're gonna share sad stories with me, you better be bringing me some happy stories too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. Mix it up.
That's why I just put myself. Let me get around some happy people, some smiling people,
Yes.
some loving people, some.
Yes, exactly. Because you're dealing with your own, you're dealing with some stuff probably on your own, and then you mixing that with theirs, and then you just like, well, shit, everything's going to hell in a hell basket. And so I like to always, be positive too. Just try to be positive and make people smile. Some people may be having a bad day, but just say, "Oh, I like that shirt you got on," or something like that.
That's it. You notice somebody changed their nails, mention it. Like you notice somebody changed their just mention it. You'd be surprised what that can do for somebody
Mhm.
when you give them that little bit of recognition to say, "Oh, I noticed you got your hair done differently. That's lovely. That's beautiful."
Right.
Certain things like that. So it's like me, I'm not outside of letting somebody know. Like if I see a change in somebody, because we all trying to reinvigorate ourselves. Socrates' secret to change is giving all focus to the you that you want to be. So I think we're all trying to change in some sort of way or
Yes.
fashion. It's just tougher for some people.
Yeah.
But we
Mhm.
trying though. We all trying though.
Yes, we
Mm.
are.
Some people screaming for help. Some people crying for help. Some people lashing out for help.
Yeah.
Then you got those who are crashing out for help.
Mhm.
They can't do nothing once they crash out, they crash out. Okay. Can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking Jag is gonna do it any moment.
What, swat herself? That's all she got next. That's the only next move she got is to try to, turn herself in and make some
Turn
type of
yourself
big deal out
in.
of it. That's it. That's all she got to do. Turn herself in.
Yes, that's what I
Listen,
would
that's
do.
listen. If
Everybody
she
gone, ain't nobody here.
the biggest thing she could do right now is turn herself in and allow her supporters to see that level of strength. And then they all going to support her more because what they going to do, oh, that's so sad. Come on, we got to rally. She don't
Yeah.
have nobody out here that's going to save that money for her. Ayasha ain't about to save that money for her. Grace ain't about to save that money for her. She don't got somebody that she can trust right now
She
that's
don't,
going to
because she messed up all her
she burned
friendships.
all the bridges. She don't even got Odell. She can't even feel safe right now to turn
Yeah.
herself in and say Odell gonna, carry the weight. She ain't put in enough. Like, listen, to me, it's like you got to be special because you can work this while you're locked up
Right.
through
Mhm.
recordings and stuff like that. So even
Yeah.
if you did like 17 recordings of yourself and told them like not to post them until this time, that time, spread it out and let them
Right.
circulate or whatever the case may be. On if you got a group of people out there that's supporting you, you can do the 15-minute phone calls online to where as though they're talking to you and you're still building, right? So, however you look at this, she should have been prepared herself to get that cleaned up.
Yes.
You'll never go to the heights that
First
you.
and foremost.
Right. You're not going to go nowhere if you got that over your back. That's always going to be something on your back.
Yeah.
Once you found out like none of these lawyers could help you without you turning yourself in, okay, you're labeled. You got a 501 or a 5150, whatever it's called. You have to go get evaluated. You have to go get a psych evaluation, so on and so forth. Get it done already. You
Get
can't
it
go out the
done.
country. If you saying most of your money is in the UK or most of your money is in yen, wherever the hell is that, you can't get to none of that until you get this off your back.
You can't do nothing. You're like stuck.
You waiting
You're
for
like,
us to you waiting for us to what? Like some anarchy shit to go on? It ain't happening.
mm-mm.
It ain't happening. Just go ahead, turn yourself in. You stole
I'm
that Penske truck,
saying.
girl. You stole that Penske truck. They still can't find that Penske truck. They don't know
Really?
where that Penske truck is at right now. Whole damn truck came up missing. You Houdini. You buried that damn truck in the desert somewhere, drove it into a mountain somewhere. They still looking for that Penske truck. I don't know what the hell you did with it. You know?
How do you do that?
I
That
don't
was
know.
so
She got that,
scary.
she got that motherfucker Penske truck in a scrap yard somewhere, still living out of it. She turned that motherfucker to a stable apartment or something. I don't know what she did with that. Did she melt it down? She turned that Penske truck into a Tonka toy in her pocket or something. I don't know.
Oh boy.
And she not gonna get away with it. You can't go into the police station and tell cops and stuff that you're gonna have people do stuff to them and they don't want to see you again. Hell no. That they label you when you in these cities and states.
Oh yeah.
She probably got like 4 stars by her name.
Yeah,
When they
she's
look
smart.
her up,
Yeah,
like, oh
she's
no, 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 nope. She disrespected Officer O'Neill. Officer O'Neill still want her ass. They is not about to let you get away with that. You go into their whole station and disrespect everywhere.
She walked up in
Cause
there.
where to be at? Where to be at that took my stuff? And my knife better be in there too. And I better have everything. Like, hell no. We want you back in here. We waiting for you to come back. We is waiting for you to come back, Miss Wright. As
I
soon as
heard
your
this
ass
the
get
other day.
there,
I said, "Is she at the police station?"
hey, they is gonna be waiting for her. Like 5 of them gonna be waiting for her. That's why she's so scared. And they want me so they can never let me out again. You damn right.
Oh shoot, Ralph, did I leave you?
You got me on froze.
Okay?
Yo, listen, think about that. You ain't never have nobody sit there and you know that they out here, taking us out left and right, and you go in the police station and talk like that. You
Yeah.
got to be off your rocker. You got to be out your rabbit mind. You was in the police station
Yes.
talking to them crazy like that, right?
Crazy.
They analyzed Sandra for saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We not saved. They take somebody out for saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. You said you about to have a big black guy do what to him? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my
Something ain't
goodness.
right. They know you messed up in the head. They like, man, she's
Yeah.
trying.
What
She's
what
trying
did
to get
you
us to
think?
do something.
What was
What-
you coming up here thinking that you were gonna do? She said, "What are y'all doing?" They said,
Right.
"We're arresting you."
Right. Yeah, you ain't never known somebody like the call is coming from in the house. How you swat yourself? Yes, I need you to check on me. I'm in room 13. Something's not right. Then you get there, you act like you didn't know. Who called you, huh? Who called you? Huh? I bet you won't tell me who called you, lady. You're talking from the cell phone that called us. What are you talking about?
Right.
Let me call the number back that called us. Let me call the number back. Hello, yeah, Jaguar. Yeah, you called us. You the one that called us. Oh, see, that's the thing. That I did not call you. Someone took my phone. It's AI generated.
Yes. Start making up stuff.
Yeah. Now they're making phone calls from my phone. They have
Oh,
my number. Like, yo, I'm so over this dramatic woman. Like she just everything was listen, when she did that for Christmas, when they performed at Christmas, and she was like, and the Beyonce halftime show was nothing more than a sacrifice. They're trying to get me. I said, oh hell no. Hell no. Ain't no way the Christmas special was dedicated to you.
To
And they,
her.
yeah, they couldn't get me,
To
so they took
her.
out someone else from the neo soul
Oh
era.
my
Like,
God.
man, I'm so tired of these dun dun duns. I'm tired of this. Like, you know how at the end of a TV show it be so good, and then it says to be continued. Like, I'm just tired
Oh
of all
yeah,
these to
that's
be
stupid
continued.
stuff.
Like, let's just get to the conclusion of this shit. Is you going to jail or not, lady? Just let's go to jail. But just let her
Yes.
do like
That's
60
what we waiting to
years.
happen. Are you
Yeah,
going to
like
jail or
give
what?
her the damn 60-day in documentary, but let her actually do her time or something. Like, is it 90 days in, 60 days in? Her and Odell both can go to jail and they could do 90-day fiance from prison or
Yeah.
some shit. Let them do that. Them figure out how to get a furlough. Put them both in jail. Fuck it. I heard they can get married in jail now. They can actually get locked up with each other. Yes, they can.
Oh wow.
They could do that now. They can get married and get locked up together in the same cell. Send their ass to lock up.
You know, I think that um
I think if you put Maria up one more again, that's what I think. I think if you
Maria
put
has a
Maria
lot
up
to
one,
say.
Maria, stop talking.
um
It's the damn smile. It's the dimples.
uh-huh.
It's terrible. Look at that. Look at the dimples. That is terrible. That is terrible. You breaking a lot of hearts
She
out there,
is
Maria. I know you out
beautiful.
there breaking a lot of hearts out there. You is a heartbreaker. I know you is.
Well, guys.
I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
'Cause
Yep, I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
well, Ralph, thank you for coming by. Thank you
It's
for
always a
inviting me
pleasure.
tonight too. I was going to come up, but I was getting the baby something to eat and stuff. How is your he's not little. How's your teenager?
Get on my nerve. That's
Same,
what they
same.
do. That's what they do, right? After a certain age, they start getting on your nerves. As soon as they start walking,
Yeah.
start getting on your nerves, start touching shit. You know,
Making stuff. Oh, she made something tonight. It was a mess.
that's how it works. That's how it works. I listen, man. I love kids, even like growth and development, watching them go through their stages, watching them become their own mind, take
Yeah.
on their own, traits and stuff. I remember when both my sons was younger and I used to take them to the park all the time to play. And it was this jump. Like it was actually like stairs, like 5 steps, or it might have been 4 steps. And then it was a ledge that you can jump off, and I seen both of my sons like they both was trying to dare each other to jump off the ledge. So they were like, you jump, and then the other one was like, you jump. So then my oldest son, he like went to the ledge and was about to jump, and then he stopped and then went around and took the steps, right? I said, okay, he's a thinker. He thought about what he was going to do before he did it, seeing that he can get hurt, and took the steps, right? My youngest son didn't even look down to see what was down there or nothing. When I say he just jumped, I said, oh man. Like I was like, oh, I'm about to
Oh.
have trouble with this one. When I say he just jumped, like he didn't look to see how far the jump was, nothing. He just jumped. I said, oh man, this one right here gonna be a problem.
Oh.
It's gonna be a problem.
I know. Ralph is awesome. I enjoy his company. It's so cool.
I'll stop in. We all got little pages to build. I'll stop in from time to time.
I appreciate it. It's
I
fun.
think it's
You make
opens
me
up the
laugh.
door. Yeah, you better stop posting Maria pictures so damn much. Nah, I'm joking.
Maria.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just picking on Maria. I don't have no, Maria's a very beautiful person. She has a lovely smile. I told her that before.
Oh.
That's why I'm just joking about it. No hard feelings. Don't want you to start feeling weird. I know how shy you are. She is not shy. She be lying too. Y'all women get on my nerves. I hate that I love y'all.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, because uh men try to do things and they try to like hide their feelings and emotions. Like they don't let you talk about certain things. You know what I mean? They don't want you to, yo, man, get out of here with that shit, bro. We about to go to the bar and drink and just like, no, let me talk. Let me get some shit off my for real. Like, you
Yeah.
want to say to your guy friends and shit, shut up. Let me talk. Let me say some shit. You want me to suppress everything. Yo, man, get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that lovey-dovey shit, man. I don't want to hear that shit, man. Come on, man. And they be the first ones to call you like, man, my girlfriend, man, she acting up. Nah, Nick, you just do the same thing. Do the same thing. Try to talk to me about. Hey, whenever they want advice, they come to you for advice. But when it's time for your ass to get, they try to make it seem like you too sentimental. And you be
Yeah.
thinking about it too much. You be doing too. No, you be doing too much. Next time you ask what you should buy somebody, I'm gonna tell your ass you doing too much. What you think I should get her? What you think I should buy her? Nothing, nigga.
He would know.
Right. I'm sick of this. Need people to talk to in this world. Men want to talk to people too, okay? We want to sit in front of the camera and show the top of our butt cheeks and get super chats. Maybe not that, but I'm just saying we want to just sit on the camera and eat oodles and noodles and shit and get money for it.
Yeah.
How do I get in that? How do I get in that persona genre? Huh? I see them doing it all the time. They're just sitting there looking pretty and shit, getting money. How do I get that going for myself? Huh? Well, I gotta show the top of the breast. Y'all know they out there. Y'all be passing by those stations like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. She ain't doing nothing but sitting in a bikini, getting all this damn gifts and shit, and they ain't doing nothing. Oh, guys, what do you think I should do next? Thinking about drinking a cup of coffee. Shut up. Your half naked ass off the screen. Well, I'm telling you, I'm gonna put a group together and sell some feet pics. Look, they out here. We can make money off of them and just use it for the right stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Put together a group of OnlyFans and just sell feet pics. Yeah. It ain't too much, you know what I'm saying? It ain't too much, If somebody walk up on you from there and recognize your feet, shit, something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I recognize you. I recognize your feet.
I recognize your feet.
I recognize you by your feet. I think it was the red bottoms, the stilettos. Recognize that mole on the top of your foot. Damn, you was paying attention. It's the vein line. It is the vein line on your feet that's so recognizable. I don't know. My mind is messed up. That's why I, walk alone. Let me get out of here. Let me go get 4 hours of sleep so I can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and do it all over again.
All right, Ralph. Thanks for stopping by.
It was a pleasure. It was a
Don't
pleasure.
forget
It's
to
always
visit Ralph's page. I believe SCJ put it up. We'll put it up again. Don't forget to go over there and show him some love and subscribe to his channel and watch his shows and hit the like button. He's great. He's like this all the time, but he's talked some serious talk, but he's got some great stuff going on over there. So you guys have got to check it out. I know Dudu Bird said you were going to go watch the replay. So thank you, Ralph.
all right. I appreciate it. Love talking to you. Look forward to the next time speaking to you. And, everybody in the chat, love is love. Remember, one's image of oneself should be greater than reality. So don't let nobody tell you that you're not great. You are great. You know, you're a movement by yourself, but we're a force when we're together, you know. I mean, you good all by yourself, but you know, you make me better, you know. But y'all have a great night.
Good night, love. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Let's meme it. Oh, let's put Ralph's Ralph is funny. Let's put Ralph's channel up again if we could. The nerve of me of playing this song. Is she asleep? Is the baby asleep? Ain't Ralph awesome? He's so funny. Oh, Dale said something earlier that was hilarious. Let me go back to it. We should all send Meghan messages of support. She is trying so hard and not sleeping. Harry has taken to his bed. He is taken to the bed. Everyone thinks he's a bully. Thank you, Doodoo Bird, for my super chat. Don't y'all be dreaming about this song. Dale said he is taken to the bed. It's a mini show, a mini show, it's a mini show, a mini show, it's a mini show. Oh, 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 oh. It's a mini show, a mini show, it's a mini show, a mini show, it's a mini show. Oh, 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 oh. It's a mini show, the mini show, it's a mini show, the mini show. It's a mini show, a mini show, a mini show. It's a mini show, a mini show, a mini show. I got another super chat. They're making it wane, making it wane. Thank you, TBG. Kisses to you. Thank you, TMG. Yeah. Thank you guys for thanking her for my super sticker. Thank you, TBG, so much. I appreciate that from you. Thank you. Okay, let's get to it. Let's look at Meghan real quick. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is an idiot. She's an idiot. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to fix you and your husband's relationship. You are deemed bullies as a group. They're bullies together. You are a bully. Look at that. Bully. You will not be able to fix your reputation because you are a straight up bona fide 100% all the way to the store and back. You are a bully. That's what you are. You wanted Sophia to write you a note saying how wonderful you are, to pretend that y'all like each other when you were in the way. Ain't that something? This is something else. This is crazy. Harry is going down with his wife. Look at this. Oh, Lord.
Oh, do you hear that?
Look at this. Now she Betty Crocker. There she go with them flowers. All right, guys, I got something for you. How's everybody doing? Did I get another super sticker? Whoa, thank you, Maria. Let's put some hearts in there for Maria. Thank you. Kisses to you, sweetheart, with your beautiful self. Let's put some hearts in there for Maria. Thank you, Maria. Something wrong. There's something really wrong. Their castle is falling down. Thank you, Maria. Harry is going down with his wife. What an idiot. What an idiot. How did you do that? How did you do that, Harry? How did you let her talk you into bullying people? I don't get it.
I am good. Hello.
I didn't quite understand what As Ever actually is. It's a brand, it's a range. I mean, how would you actually describe it?
It's a nightmare.
Hello and welcome to Spectator TV. I'm William Moore, the Spectator's features editor and the author of 3 books about the Windsors, most recently Power and Glory. We're going to be talking about the controversy between Prince Harry and Centre Barley, the charity he set up in memory of his mother, Diana. Alexander, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
It's good to be back here, Will.
I can't quite believe we're once again talking about the Sussexes. Every time I think we've got to the end of this well, there's still more water that can be drawn out. This week, it's been quite a huge story, which is that Prince Harry has been accused by the chairwoman of the charity that he set up on his mother of various things. I think I'll read out the full quote, actually, because it's quite worth getting the full thing. She has said that her story is one of a woman who dared to blow the whistle about issues of poor governance, weak executive management, abuse of power, bullying, harassment, misogyny, misogynoir, which I believe means the...
Beneath all the victim's narrative in fiction, there has been, what is that? Syndicated to press is the story of a woman who dared to blow the whistle about issues. Syndicated of poor governance, weak executive management, abuse of power, Jesus, issues of poor governance, weak executive management, abuse of power, bullying and harassment, misogyny, menage, whatever, and the cover-up that ensued.
Hatred of black women and the cover-up that ensued. So it's quite a remarkable string of claims there. What is really going on?
Well, it's good to be back here, Will, in these usual circumstances. And I should say at the outset, we're talking on April Fool's Day, which is appropriate because it appears that yet again, Harry, his wife, and everyone around them have made fools out of themselves. But this is a spectacular story. And actually, what's interesting is that most stories about Prince Harry at the moment start off big and then get smaller because the most important story is usually the immediate one. This one started off bad and it's got worse. It's always been interesting because you look at Harry and you look at what exactly is going to be the final nail in the coffin of his reputation. And I never saw his being accused of misogynoir, of all things, because obviously he has set so much store by his own progressive credentials, and indeed he and Meghan have been very careful to present themselves as the model of a modern progressive mixed-race couple. So for him to have this woman who he's worked with for many years on the Centre Barley charity turn around and effectively accuse him of racism, in addition to bullying and in addition to poor governance of this charity, which, as you say, was set up in memory of his late mother, it must hurt. And you can see that there's this briefing and counter-briefing going on in the media at the moment, where it's very clear that most stories about Harry, I don't think bother him that much on a professional basis, not bother him on a personal basis. It might be some spilt organic whole milk in the Montecito kitchen, but he also knows that it's part of the territory, whereas this is basically cutting to the heart of who he thinks he is, because he's always tried to present himself as somebody who is above such things, who is dealing with charities and actually believing what he's doing. But for somebody who he has worked with so closely to come around with these, let's be quite honest, extraordinary and fairly unprecedented by personal allegations, it is going to be enormously harmful that the story is keeping on going. Now, what he must be hoping is that he's going to win, that she's going to become discredited, that he will be proved to be right, that he will be vindicated, and then like many other stories involving him, the haters will be proved wrong and he will be able to hold his head up high. But if he isn't, and any of these stories stick, it's going to be absolutely catastrophic for him.
Well, I wondered actually if perhaps we need to explain a little for viewers who may not be aware what exactly Centre Barley is and how Harry became involved with it in the first place. As you say, it was set up in honour of his mother, wasn't it?
Yes, and it's a charity that's based in Africa. And I don't think that anybody, especially not me, a couple of weeks ago would have had it on their bingo card for 2025, that this apparently blameless organisation, which Harry was very much working on behind the scenes, it was not something which he was trumpeting the way he trumpeted so many of his other achievements. I mean, you would have always said, well, in the credit column, there is his work in Centre Barlow, which he doesn't demand publicity for. He just gets on and does it. Now you're thinking, well, it's not quite clear why he hasn't demanded publicity. It's clearly what's been going on. And there's been a series of very detailed allegations against him, some of which suggested that while he was filming his Netflix series with Meghan, they were basically elbow.
It's really difficult to have this conversation because the instruction was it's an uncomfortable conversation to have with Prince Harry in the room.
So the central point here is when you look at the risk register of the charity and funding, number one risk is...
This is a couple, Harry and Meghan, who didn't do any of what you've just suggested.
What that attack has done.
They can no longer hide behind the misogyny card.
If you're wondering why we're not debating President Trump's apparent run for a third term in office and all the latest squawking from Washington, D.C., well, fear not. We will be a little later. But we begin with bombshell claims about Prince Harry, the de facto Duke of Sussex, resigned last week from Centre Barlow, the charity he co-founded in honour of his late mother, Princess Diana. His chairwoman has now publicly accused Harry of harassment and bullying at scale.
Really, what Prince Harry wanted to do was to eject me from the organization. And this went on for months. It went on for months through bullying, harassment. When that failed, Prince Harry started to brief, and his team, sponsors that I'd been speaking to against me. At some point on Tuesday, Prince Harry authorized the release of a damaging piece of news. And can you imagine what that attack has done for me, on me, and the 540 individuals in the Centre Barlow organizations and their family? It was me who was the problem because I put a whistleblower complaint about the bullying, the harassment, and the misogyny, and Prince Harry interfered in the investigation of that. So it's a cover-up, and the prince is involved.
Wow. Well, Sophie Chanduka says she's reported Centre Barlow's trustees to the authorities and has blown the whistle on issues including abuse of power, bullying, sexism, and racism. This is, of course, ironically, the exact same charge sheet presented by Harry and Meghan against the royal family, the media, and anybody else who's ever dared to challenge them over the last 5 years. Harry is further accused of planting negative press stories to smear Dr. Chanduka, a claim he notoriously levelled without evidence against his family. The Sussexes have long weaponized victim culture and the self-certification of suffering to trash their enemies and advance their brand. They've now, rather delightfully, been snared in their own trap. You might think, hoisted by their own petard. And after the dismal performance of both Harry's Netflix Polo series and Meghan's god-awful Netflix lifestyle series, can we finally now declare that brand Sussex may have kicked the bucket? Well, joining me now is the author of The Psychosis of Whiteness, Professor Kahinde Andrews, the Daily Mail columnist, soon to be joining Meghan Kelly at MK Media, Maureen Callahan, and the lawyer and uncensored contributor Paula Rowan. Welcome to all of you. Right, Maureen, you've been off the long run on this one, but it is ironic, isn't it, that here you have Harry and Meghan who've been dishing out all the same allegations about absolutely everybody from their own family, to media, to any critic that's ever dared to take them on, that now they themselves have been accused of exactly the same stuff.
Here's Meghan and Harry went on the Oprah Winfrey show and said that the family was racist. Now look how the tables have turned. Has done a 360 on us. Can you guys believe this? The castle covered up the bullying allegations, put that in a vault. Tom Bauer put it in his book. The Hollywood Reporter came out and said how Meghan bullied her staff and she's a dictator in Hills. As a matter of fact, I have a subscriber that is called The Dictator. Making grown men cry. Wanted this Sophia to write a letter on behalf of Meghan saying that she's this wonderful person for a PR stunt. She said, I'm not writing that down. I'm not doing that for PR reasons. Meghan was not supposed to be there. Now she's all on the stage in the way, telling people what to do. Harry, this is your charity. She didn't took it. Now you are caught up and wrapped up into her bullying allegations while she's posting on Instagram. Like that's going to change our minds about what's going on. This is some deep, deep stuff. They in some trouble. They in trouble. This woman is not playing. Meghan has met her match. Yes, they in trouble, Maria. They are in some trouble. Let's see what they're talking about. But can you believe it? Didn't Meghan go on the Oprah show talking about it was Catherine that made her cry? It was Catherine. Archie's not going to get security. Or the titles. They wasn't that friendly to me. Oh, my dad's not in my life anymore. He lied. So I kicked him to the curb. Your stuff's starting to stink. Meghan's stuff is starting to smell really, really bad. Okay. Right. They have been called out. They have been called a racist. Harry's been called a racist. Harry's been called saying that he harasses people, that he is a bully. He's a misogynist, that he harassed her. He tried to get her out, kicked out of the club. He ran like a little, I'm running. Didn't he run? I quit. You quit what? Your charity? Yeah, she got receipts. Karma is, this is the thing. Regardless if he's vindicated or not, he still have been deemed a bully, harassing people. He is considered a misogynist and a racist. She didn't leave nothing unturned. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. This is going to be a good one. I'm back. Can you believe this? That they have been called the racist, the bullies.
What is so karmically delicious and deserved about this is that it is a Black woman leveling these accusations. These two can no longer hide behind the race card.
She said this is delicious. Like it's a meal. This is a delicious. How karma has come back and finally said, here's the deal. She's been called a bully before. They've been called bullies before. This is not new. And here's the situation. Now it's official. It's official that they are bullies. Someone has came out and finally said it. That is not scared of Meghan and Harry because of their titles. It's delicious.
can no longer hide behind the misogyny card. They have a woman.
Absolutely everybody, from their own family to the media to any critic that's ever dared to take them on, that now they themselves have been accused of exactly the same stuff.
What?
Here's what is so karmically delicious and deserved about this, is that it is a Black woman leveling these accusations. These two can no longer hide behind the race card. They can no longer hide behind the misogyny card.
Ooh.
They have a woman who feels completely emboldened by what would seem to be facts from her point of view to say these things, not to People or Us Weekly, but to the Financial Times, to Sky News, against a couple that is highly litigious. This will not end well for Harry and Meghan.
This is not going
to I mean, Paula, all women should be believed, so presumably you believe.
This is the end of the road. It is the end of the road. They're not going to be able to recover from this. That's so unfortunate because she wants to be a billionaire. But now that they have proven over and over and over again that you are a true bully, Meghan, and that you're a nasty piece of work. Now that the people have spoken, they have spoken up, and karma has bit you, and it's delicious. Because you were the one that came out and started talking about people were racist. You were the one that came out and threw your family to the curb in Harry's. You the one sat on that Netflix show and told your mama to say, it's pure racism. Now people are speaking up. I wonder what the palace is thinking. They've got to be embarrassed.
This lady, do you?
I'm not sure where you got the quote that all women should be believed from. It's not a quote that I'm familiar with. Certainly.
Well, that was a narrative. Well, hang on. That was a narrative from the Me Too campaigns, wasn't it? Was that you had to believe women when they make allegations. What's interesting here is that they've been instantly dismissed by Prince Harry, and he would have been the first person, along with his wife, to say you've got to believe the victims.
Certainly, it's appropriate to have a compassionate ear when somebody comes to you and says, look, I am surviving bullying and harassment in the workplace, or I am surviving bullying and
racism
harassment
and
in
sexism.
my home. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And of course, what surprises me about these allegations is that they are now being litigated on the news by journalists, by reporters, instead of calmly being referenced in an appropriate statement and
Well,
letting
like
the
Oprah
litigation
Winfrey on primetime TV, maybe?
and allowing the litigation to continue, because I understand that
Paula,
this currently is in
Paula,
litigation at the
Paula,
moment.
it's lovely to see you back in Uncensored. Paula, how can you say that with a straight face? This is a couple, Harry and Meghan, who didn't do any of what you've just suggested. They went.
See, that's that stupid stuff. This little woman over here in the corner with the afro is trying to say that they could have handled this with a more of a delicate situation. They could have just, put out a statement saying that they're doing, working on some stuff and fixing some stuff and lie to us. But now what's funny is she was the main one back in the day talking about they need to tell their story. They need to tell their story. Meghan has a story to tell, and she was mistreated in the castle, and she needs to tell her story. Now you're trying to say they need to hide the situation. No, girl with the fro. Here's what's going to happen. The whistle has been blown on these two. They wouldn't have sugarcoated it or put it under the rug. Or did they do that to the royal family? Or did they not call them racist? This is what Samantha was trying to do a defamation case against Meghan, but that wasn't working out. Now the girl with the fro wants to play in our faces, as Ralph would say, and pretend, okay, Like Meghan didn't get on the Oprah show, prime time, for an hour or so, talking about the royal family and how they mistreated her. But she did not go to the royal family behind their backs in a private setting to say, wait a minute, I don't feel right about this. I don't feel right about that. But I'm just going to come on the Oprah show and just let it all out. And now we want to keep this quiet. This is that stupid stuff. Work with me, guys. No. Yeah, she's ignoring the news by uploading pictures in lemon tarts. Just makes her come across as more unhinged. She is glossing, grossly disliked, and grossly laughed at. She's trying to pretend like ain't nothing happening. She's a pretender. Let's sweep it up under the rug and keep smiling and keep pretending that everything is just fine. It wasn't fine when you didn't invite your family to the wedding. But you was going to tell your story. This is your story. We're just in it. Now there's a new story that's hit the airwaves. And let me tell you something. You have been called a bully more than once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. A bully. A bully, Meghan. And your husband has allowed you to do it. Now he's in trouble. What is you doing all up in his charity? You and Serena. Wasn't even supposed to be there and brought a friend along because you took over like you take over everything else. And taking over has finally gotten you into some trouble. So let's hear this lady lie and deflect.
On Oprah Winfrey and absolutely blasted their families as a bunch
That
of
wasn't in
racist,
litigation.
callous
That wasn't
freaks.
in
No, but
litigation,
my point
Piers.
is, the point is they're being treated the same way they treated everybody else.
The point
It's the
is-
ultimate delicious irony.
The point is, it wasn't in litigation. And I appreciate that what you are doing is licking your lips at the idea that somehow Harry and Meghan are going.
Litigation, civic duty. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's in litigation. No, she's just telling her truth. She's got receipts. She doesn't need to hide anything. She's blowing the whistle. That's why it's called whistleblowing. Don't try to make excuses for the Sussexes because they didn't take things behind the scene and try to work it out with the king and queen. No. Meghan was so in such a hurry to sit down on the Oprah couch and tell stories and make up stuff and elaborate. Catherine made me cry. Like Catherine said, this recollections may vary. This girl ain't on the up and up. And now you can't lie your way out of this one. You cannot lie your way out of this bullying allegations. What trips me out is that when the Hollywood Reporter came out and said that she was a dictator in heels and making grown men cry, that should have been the end of it then. But oh no, she's cooking for us. She's going to be cooking and she's going to be Instagramming and she's going to be a Confessions of a Female Founder on her Lemonado podcast, and it's going to fail. Nobody likes a bully. And now that it is official, it's been official. Like, what's up with mainstream media? They reporting on it now. Harry's in trouble. You done finally got in trouble because of your wife. Can you write a letter stating that my wife is beautiful and she's got it going on and you guys are friends? What kind of... Harry, quit being a ding-dong. That was a ding-dong move because your wife told you to do it. And so you do whatever Meghan tells you to do. It is nasty. It is disgusting. Isn't it? know. Angry. Yeah, how she treat her staff, how she treats people in general, how she treated those kids when she went to New York, had them signing NDAs and sitting on the floor while she read a book, while she sat her happy-go-lucky self in a chair. Didn't give them a book, wanted $5 each for the book. It was on a discount. She's greedy. She is greedy. How are you going to have a charity, then go to a school, and then have them sign NDAs, and then charge them $5 for books? Who does that? She's a princess, but you're a giver. She's selling makeup now. It is so cheesy. It is not, it's worse than cheesy. It is embarrassing. She's an embarrassment. Darcy embellishing hell a lot with Oprah twice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so funny. So Snowdrop, you're at the airport. Be careful. Take care. Pretty sure plates are flying across a certain Montecito kitchen. Whoa. Who's throwing the plates? Nosy. Hello, by the way. Meghan shouldn't be throwing the plates. It's her fault. But she's throwing them. Harry, how could you? A grown woman being a bully to her husband, too. He's in an abusive relationship. We know that, right? Harry is in an abusive relationship. He is not in a regular relationship. Oh, have fun, TBG. Yeah. Sit your excuse-making tail down.
To feel even more pain, but that isn't the appropriate approach. What we have here is the sad dismantling of a charity that has done magnificent work for 19 years, and we now have allegations being touted and flouted, as I said, in the press. Wholly inappropriate, totally vulgar, quite frankly, and what we need to be doing.
Okay, she didn't piss me off. She didn't piss me off. Look, Fro. You weren't saying that when Meghan was in the news talking about how they was racist. You weren't saying that when she gave Lilibet the name. She wasn't saying none of this. If I could go back and do a comparison, you guys would be tripping. She ain't even making sense. What?
Idea that somehow Harry and Meghan are going to feel even more pain, but that isn't the appropriate approach. What we have here is the sad dismantling of a charity that has done magnificent work for 19 years, and we now have allegations being touted and flouted, as I said, in the press.
Because he's a bully.
Inappropriate, totally vulgar, quite frankly. And what we need to be doing actually is focusing on those poor children who seem to be left in abeyance.
Paula, with respect, I don't remember you saying that it was totally inappropriate and vulgar when Meghan Markle sprayed the same stuff about the royal family to Oprah.
I'm not sure that spraying is the correct terminology to use there.
What
What happened was they told their story,
which
they are entitled, touted and flouted, as I said, in the press. Wholly inappropriate, totally vulgar.
Listen, Fro. They told their story just like Sophia is telling her story. What's the difference? What's the difference? What is the difference between Harry and Meghan sitting on the Oprah show? They're racist. Then this lady with her educated self letting them know that Harry is a bully and he harassed me and was trying to kick me out the club. You can't defend the undefendable. Stop trying to defend this. You have lost it. You have lost it. Tell their story. And Sophia doesn't have one. This is her job. This is her life. This is what she signed up for. Okay, man. Throwing plates and blaming him for her own decisions. Yeah, because it's never his fault. Bye, Juju Bird. I have 2 busy days ahead of me. My brother-in-law's memorial is Thursday. Oh, I'm sorry about that, your brother-in-law. Many blessings to everyone. We'll be praying for you, Juju Bird. Sorry about that, your brother-in-law. This is that stupid stuff. Yeah.
Vulgar, quite frankly. And what we need to be doing actually is focusing on those poor children
It's
who
funny, though,
seem
you
to be
didn't-
left in abeyance.
Paula, with respect, I don't remember you saying that it was totally inappropriate.
Dismantling of a charity that has done magnificent work for 19 years. And we now have allegations being touted and flouted, as I said, in the
like
press.
they did on the
Totally
Oprah
inappropriate,
show.
Totally vulgar, quite frankly. And what we need to be doing actually is focusing on those poor children.
She said quite vulgar. She said what Sophia is saying was vulgar. How was that vulgar? If he's going to have people on his show, he's going to have to get some more intelligent people out.
Are going to feel even more pain. But that isn't the appropriate approach. What we have here is the sad dismantling of a charity that has done magnificent work for 19 years. And we now have allegations being touted and flouted, as I said, in the press. Wholly inappropriate, totally vulgar, quite frankly. And what we need to be doing actually...
It's not inappropriate and it's not vulgar. Stop saying stupid stuff, bro. That ain't even it. What's vulgar is getting on the Oprah show, trashing the royal family. Karma has come back and bit her in her butt. And you. Because you can't even defend it. It's vulgar. What was vulgar? Hers telling the truth? That is something. Yeah, prayers to you and your family, Judy Bird. Exactly, Darcy. Damn nap. Nosy said she needed a damn nap.
is focusing on those poor children
It's
who
funny, though,
seem to be left in abeyance.
Paula, with respect, I don't remember you saying that it was totally inappropriate and vulgar when Meghan Markle sprayed the same stuff about the royal family to Oprah.
I'm not sure that spraying is the correct terminology to use. What happened was they told their story, which they are entitled to do.
So why is there a difference between what Sophie Chanduka is doing?
The difference is very simple. One is currently in litigation, Piers, and one was never considered to be appropriate for litigation.
There she go with that stupid stuff, litigation. What does that got to do with anything? This makes it even worse that it's in litigation. So it's okay for them to tell their story, but Sophia got to sit in the dark and pretend like it ain't happening to her. Speak it, Sophia. Don't listen to Fro. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She all up in something else. She cannot defend it. It's in litigation. No, it's been whistleblown, okay? Harry has been called out.
That is the point. And that is what I'm confused about, because if I was representing Dr. Chanduka, I would be very concerned that she thought it was appropriate to disseminate evidence about a case in the media.
what I would be concerned is why it's okay for the gruesome twosome to say what they want to say to the press. And didn't they sue? Hello, Tweety Bird, Fro. Her name is Fro. Fro. Remember when Harry was suing all those people, all those newspapers, all the media people? That was in litigation. They talked about that, how Meghan had a miscarriage because of the Daily News. She can't defend this. She shouldn't be concerned. She blew the whistle. Hello? And guess what? It's going to be some more stuff that come out. She was just giving us a little tip.
Wow. Well, very different rules of engagement then. All right,
Not when we're talking about two
up.
different situations, Piers.
Well, we're not really.
No, we're not. He said, I guess the rules of engagement is different when it comes to them. It's two different things, Piers. No, it ain't. It's the same situation. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Fro is off. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Fro is off. And is it on regular speed? What mentally things going to the Chris pit of Hollyweird is a bigger and better platform than the royal family, especially when H&M TQ was still around. She's off. Thank you.
We're talking about people making allegations of racism, sexism, bullying, and harassment. But it seems to me that when it's made by Harry and Meghan, they get a pass. When it's anybody else, it's inappropriate and vulgar.
Thank you.
Kahindi Andrews. I mean, these are serious allegations from a black woman, chair of this charity. I mean, she goes on the rampage about Harry in particular, you know, and says that he's basically tried to traduce the charity in a way that she found incredibly distasteful, turning up at a big event with the Netflix cameras in tow, Meghan Markle bringing Serena Williams, elbowing her out the way in the now infamous clip that we saw with the presentation at the polo match and so on. None of this is very good, is it?
It is undoubted that when Harry and Meghan were in the family, they experienced problems, as anybody would expect. That royal family is one of the symbols of white supremacy, is deeply racist, so they experienced that. It is also true that...
Slow down. He talking way fast. First of all, if they had problems, then they should have just discussed it behind the scenes. It was not for them to have it out in public. Like they're out in public now about being bullies. Now they see how it feels. I wonder... Meghan, this is to you, to me, because I want to know how it feels to be outed in the press, calling you a bully again. How does it feel? Harassment. Girl, your reputation is in the toilet. It will not be able to recover.
Prince Harry is a representative of that symbol of white supremacy. What do you expect? Are we actually surprised that someone from the elite, from the aristocracy, went to Africa in his gap year, started a charity, and then acts really pompous and imperial to the black woman who runs it? This is not news. Honestly, this is not news. Two things can be true. They experience racism and they complain about it. And yes, more than likely, Harry is even if these accusations aren't true, it's deeply unlikely that Prince Harry has not acted in a colonial manner in his pet project on the African continent. So I'm not sure what the story is, to be honest.
What?
Well, the story, Maureen, I think is pretty clear to the rest of us, which is that you've got a couple here who have spent the last 5 years lambasting everybody else as a bunch of harassing, bullying racists as they played the victim. But once again, and it's not the first time.
TBG, Lady Letitia, do you think Meghan is going to use racism if she decides to divorce Harry? She's going to talk about the royal family even more. She's going to dog them out and put them on blast. But not only is she going to put the royal family on blast, she's going to decimate Harry. She's going to make up all kinds of allegations. He hit her. He's a drunk. He's doing something illegal, drugs. You know, it's, you name it, That's what she gonna be. He ain't good with the kids. He's abusive. All of that. She going in on him because she's got to look like the one that's the victim. She's the victim. She's always the victim. I'm the victim. Harry came after me. He hit me with a pole. Not put a hole in my head. Yeah, Harry did that. And he's not a good dad. He doesn't come home at night. The kids should stay with me. Woo, she gonna be really merching them kids then.
Can't they both be true, please? Can't they just both be true?
Well, they can, but they can. Of course they can. Yeah, of course they can. But Maureen, if you look at the video again of the infamous polo presentation, what Sophie Chanduka says is that she was basically pushed out of the way. You're watching them here. She's on the left, Meghan Markle on the right. You see Meghan Markle ushering her over to get away from Harry.
Look at
so she
that.
can duck under this trophy. And she says that because of that, there was adverse publicity that then came out of that scenario, understandably, because it looked so awful. And that she was then asked by the Sussex camp to issue a clarification that they're all happy. And she refused to be part of their PR game, already fed up with what was going on in terms of the Netflix stuff going on at that event, supposed to be a charity event.
Y'all saw Megan. Y'all have seen that scene 100 times. Her telling that lady to move and to get in front of her. Don't stand next to Harry. Now, Meghan, not the squad, not their team. Meghan told Harry, look, let's write something about it. Let's let Sophia come out with a statement saying that nothing went wrong and we're friends. Sophia said, hell no, we are not friends. You're a liar, you're a bullier, and you're harassment. And I know it's coming from you and not Harry, but it is what it is. Y'all both the same. This is how she is telling us a lot of stuff. She is telling us that Meghan is sick when it comes to PR. How she wanted to change the narrative to say that everything was fine. Just like when she went to the LA fires in the way. In the way. Trying to get that photo shoot. Just like when she went to Uvalde where her father was in a hospital. Something wrong with her.
And that she, because of that, then got this snotty, haughty message from Harry. And she said she's kept receipts in which he was very imperious and rude to her.
She got receipts where Harry was rude and disrespectful to her after he told her no. Shut up. Let me let y'all hear that again.
And that she was then asked by the Sussex camp to issue a clarification that they're all happy. And she refused to be part of their PR game, already fed up with what was going on in terms of the Netflix stuff going on at that event, supposed to be a charity event.
Put it on regular speed?
And that she, because of that, then got this snotty, haughty message from Harry. And she said she's kept receipts in which he was very imperious and rude to her.
So that video appears.
So Meghan got pissed off and told Harry, look, Harry, now you get over there and you tell her that she needs to write that letter. And if she doesn't, tell her how upset you are. Excuse me. Tell her how upset you are, Harry. So that's what he did. And she kept the receipts. And we're going to see them. I hope this is an open thing. Hope this is open. Very awkward. It's a very awkward clip. Let's see it again. Look how awkward this is.
Says is that she was basically
Look at this.
pushed out of the way. You're watching them here.
Look at
She's on the left,
Meghan.
Meghan Markle on the right. You see Meghan Markle ushering her over to get away from Harry. So she has to duck under this trophy. And she says that because of that, there was adverse publicity that then came out of that scenario, understandably, because it looked so awful. And that she was then asked by the Sussex camp to issue a clarification that they're all happy. And she refused to be part of their PR game, already fed up with what was going on in terms of the Netflix stuff going on at that event. It was supposed to be a charity event.
Nosy. Why is Fro running interference like that? Makes her look like an idiot siding with two racist bullies. What is that? Art lick Fro melting her brain. Okay. Love that one, Nosy. Hope I said that right. She wasn't helpful after LA either. That ICDC useless. Moon Falcon, hello. Oh, I saw this. This dude on this panel is so rude. You can't understand what he's saying. She's rude. Fro is rude. Saying the Commonwealth needs to be scraped. He's ignorant about what it is. Yes, he is. What does the Commonwealth got to do with Harry over there bullying people? Safe travel, Snowdrop. Snowdrop, can you put it on regular speed before you leave? I think you're the only, I don't see SCJ. You're the only mod I have left, sweetheart. And be careful.
And that she, because of that, then got this snotty, haughty message from Harry, and she said she's kept receipts in which he was very imperious and rude to her.
So that video, Piers, says everything. I think that video is the visual manifestation of what it is to work with Harry and Meghan. Nobody is moving Meghan out of the center of the frame next to her husband. Meghan Markle will not be denied. And to Paula's earlier point, I think the reason that Sophie has begun litigating this in the press is because she says Harry was the first one to begin litigating this in the press, issuing a joint statement last week that asking her to step down was to, quote, ensure the safety and well-being of the Sentebale staff. By the way, 540 people for this charity seems like a lot of people to be employing. So I really do think, and then for her to say that their brand is toxic, that under Harry in particular, there was gross mismanagement, there was bullying, harassment at scale. Is this not everything we've heard about the churn and burn through Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's offices as they attempt to launch and relaunch brand after brand in this sort of Sisyphean effort to make themselves likable and, more importantly, marketable and profitable?
Likable, profitable, and marketable. Meghan wants to be likable, profitable, and marketable. But ain't none of this working. She said it. And not to mention the allegations. I guess we just supposed to sweep them under the rug. And like she said, this happened before the litigation. This was going on before. She had to do a full-blown attack on these people. I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Paula, there is a long and illustrious list.
That under Harry in particular, there was gross mismanagement, there was bullying, harassment at scale. Is this not everything we've heard about the churn and burn through Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's offices as they attempt to launch and relaunch brand after brand in this sort of Sisyphean effort to make themselves likable and, more importantly, marketable and profitable? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Paula, there is a long and illustrious list of allegations against her. Several people who worked at Buckingham Palace, because of NDAs, have not spoken out publicly, but I know at least one of them personally has told me about some of the bullying that went on there. They seem to have a track record, these two, of playing the victims of bullying whilst dishing it out whenever it suits them.
Well, I don't know about that, Piers, but you will know that, of course, if you work for a member of the royal family, you are signed to an NDA. You're not allowed to speak about your employment there. You're not allowed to speak about the reasons why you may have left. You're not allowed to raise a grievance, for example. So it may be, in fact, that there are hundreds of ex-employees of Buckingham Palace or the institution who have wanted to raise grievances about their employ, but of course they haven't been able to do that. Now that Prince Harry and Meghan are away from the royal family, of course, we are free to hear about those who might want to raise allegations against that. And so we need to be careful about the balance of hearing all this negativity.
What the hell is she talking about? Harry and Meghan raised concerns about what was going on in the palace. Now we need to be careful. Harry and Meghan raised concerns about what was going on in the castle. And so now it opens the door up for other people to come out and speak about what's going on. No, it doesn't. They already spoke up. They said they were bullied by these two. They were glad they were gone, Fro. And now she's digging. You are digging, girl.
So it may be, in fact, that there are hundreds of ex-employees of Buckingham Palace or the institution who have wanted to raise grievances about their employ, but of course...
Personally has told me about some of the bullying that went on there.
What the hell does that got to do with this woman coming out saying that they have bullied her?
They seem to have a track record, these two, of playing the victims of bullying whilst dishing it out whenever it suits them.
Well, I don't know about that, Piers, but you will know that, of course, if you work for a member of the royal family, you are signed to an NDA. You're not allowed to speak about your employment there. You're not allowed to speak about the reasons why you may have left. You're not allowed to raise a grievance, for example. So it may be, in fact, that there are hundreds of ex-employees of Buckingham Palace or the institution who have wanted to raise grievances about their employ, but of course they haven't been able to do that. Now that Prince Harry and Meghan are away from the royal family, of course, we are free to hear about those who might want to raise allegations.
It's been 5 years. They ain't came out and said nothing yet. It's been 5 years, Fro, and nobody has come out and raised any issues about what's going on with the royal family. What this does do is open up the doors for their other employees, that Meghan and Harry's NDAs, for them to come out and speak up. Because didn't you remember, she's a dictator in heels? Bring it home, Pierce.
Against that. And so we need to be careful about the balance of hearing all this negativity about people complaining about Harry and Meghan. Piers, I'm sure you're very used to getting complaints about your behavior from people, but
no.
She is trying her best to sweep this under the rug and deflect and grift and deflect. She's deflecting. She's not making sense. They haven't came out in 5 years and said anything about the palace. What they waiting on? Didn't Meghan get an award for racism? No one has come out and said anything about the palace. The only person that's speaking up about the palace, Fro, is the people that she bullied.
About their employ, but of course they haven't been able to do that. Now that Prince Harry and Meghan are away from the royal family, of course we are free to hear about those who might want to raise allegations against that. And so we need to be careful about the balance of hearing all this negativity about people complaining about Harry and Meghan. Piers, I'm sure you're very used to getting complaints about your behaviour from people, but
no, I'm not actually. No, I don't bully myself. No, I'm not. No, I don't bully myself.
I do want to come back on a point No,
I don't harass them. I don't bully them. I'm not racist to them. I'm not sexist to them. So no, I'm not used to it at all. You might not like what I do on air, but on air is a totally different thing. You guys all come on, we all debate, we all argue. That's fine. But no, I don't. As you know, Paula, I don't think you've ever heard any allegation like that against me. So that's just not true. But with Meghan and Harry, there are endless examples of people who work for them. I mean, look at the number of people that go through their workforce. It's like a new PA every 2 minutes.
I think it's really important, though, for me to just come back and, dare I say, correct you
She's
on a
our
point
own
about this whole
CEO.
polo incident where Serena Williams was there, etc. Now, I have read the reports, and whether they have correctly quoted Dr. Chandukar or not, I don't know. But she actually does deal with this incident in one of the news reports, and she does say that while she was asked to make a statement, she said no. And
well, let's listen to her. Hang on. Let's listen to it. We got the clip. Hang on.
On the actual day, we had Prince Harry, which is always wonderful. The Duchess decided to attend, but she told us she wasn't attending. And she brought a friend, a very famous friend. We would have been really excited had we known ahead of time, but we didn't. And so the choreography went badly on stage because we had too many people on stage.
It was horrible.
The international press captured this, and there was a lot of talk about the Duchess. Prince Harry asked me to issue some sort of a statement in support of the Duchess, and I said I wouldn't. We cannot be an extension of the Sussex.
What would have happened if you...
The point that I wanted to make, and that I have read, was that Dr. Chandukar said that she didn't want to give a response. Number one, because you know what would happen, or worse to that effect. Now, we have to assume what she means by you know what would happen. And the assumption that I'm going to make is that the hate bots would rain down on her if she was seen to be supporting Meghan. Because we've seen that happen to a...
No, that's not necessarily true. She told you why. Why would she lie, Fro? Now you're putting words in her mouth. First of all, she said that it was a PR stunt. Harry wanted it to be a PR move. She didn't made up something. She knows that she's going to be attacked. Not necessarily when nobody even cared. We probably wouldn't even heard it. No, she's telling the truth. Meghan was out of order. She showed up unannounced with a famous friend. The choreography was off. She was in the way. And Harry wanted me to write a note saying that everything was fine. And I said no, because I'm not going to be a part of this PR team. Nothing to do with what they're going to say about her. Just making up stuff.
Number of people who have chosen to speak positively about Meghan. People are frightened to do that. However, I do have to high five Gwyneth Paltrow with the little performance that her and Meghan.
Well, you know, she got a spanking. She lost some subscribers. And the reason why people don't like Meghan is because of the type of person she is. It's not because we just don't like her. I don't like her just because her hair is black. No, Meghan has done some harsh, hurtful things to people. And she continues to do that. And so those that support her, we look at them sideways like, what's wrong with you? What kind of morals do you have? I'm sorry, but Meghan is not on the platform of being one of these great, great, great role models and people you look up to, and a philanthropist and a humanitarian and a lovable person and a great cook and a wonderful show. And Lemonada's going to be great. And let's go to the flowers. No, it is over. Over. Guess what? Over, Fro. Thank you, Sassy Pauls, for my super chat. Love is love. Mwah. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it so much. Let's thank Sassy Pauls for my super chat. Thank you, sweetie. Digging deep, deflecting and digging deep. Where is Paula? She's here? Oh, when she came. Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Let's go back.
Gave recently.
Has any of their behaviour changed your mind, Paula, or are you still completely deluded about them?
Delulu. Piers, I don't want to alarm you, but I'm not delusional. What I am is
You are
objective.
delusional.
And what concerns me is that what we are seeing is a current witch hunt, which is it's just outrageous. It's exhausting.
Okay, now you sound like a conspiracy theorist. How is this a witch hunt when the lady has said that something has happened to her? So what we supposed to do? Ignore what she said, Fro? So if it was you that needed to tell your story, it's okay if Meghan and Harry tell their lies, but it ain't okay for someone to tell their true story. I'm confused. I am confused. No, I don't mind Paula coming over. She's great, guys. Windmilling for 2 races with an overheated plastic fro. Bad look. Okay? Nosy, that's right. 100%. Oh, thank you for the hearts. About to go to bed. Good night. Good night, Sassy Paws. Thank you. I'm going to try to shut it down in the next 5 or 10 minutes, guys. It's getting late here, too.
And I just wonder what.
Do you know what I think? It's funny, isn't it? Because Maureen, what I find outrageous and exhausting, Paula, or are you still completely deluded about them?
Ignore you.
Delulu. Piers, I don't want to alarm you, but I'm not delusional. What I am is objective. And what concerns me is that what we are seeing is a current witch hunt.
This is not a witch hunt.
It's just outrageous. It's exhausting.
It's
and I just
not.
wonder what.
Do you know what I think? It's funny, isn't it? Because Maureen, what I find outrageous and exhausting is that you've got this pair of little grifters, not my phrase, the Spotify executive who had to deal with them, pair of little grifters who trashed the royal family, trashed the monarchy, yet kept their titles and used their titles to enrich themselves with a series of vacuous projects that nobody wants to watch or read or anything else. They're trying to have their royal cake and eat it. And I see right through it, as I have done from the start. It's
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
staggering to me that people like Paula, who are very bright, intelligent people, still fall for this claptrap. I mean, anyone who watched that ridiculous recent series of Meghan Markle cooking her cookies knows the whole thing is just a scam to use the royal title to make money.
Yes, Piers. And I'll tell you, I have to disagree with Paula here. It's actually historically been the case that if you criticize Meghan Markle, you're in for a lot of hate, a lot of criticism.
I think that's what that woman was getting at.
Defending her has historically been the easier way to go. And secondly, that Netflix series that Meghan just did, that execrable series she just put out on Netflix, episode 2, she's got Mindy Kaling in her kitchen, her fake kitchen, and Mindy makes the fatal mistake of calling Meghan Markle, and Meghan tenses right up and says so tightly, she goes, "Oh, so funny you call me that. I'm Sussex now, I'm Meghan Sussex now. Don't get it twisted."
Yeah.
Can't have it both ways.
I completely agree.
What has this got to do with Meghan Markle? I mean, this is a story about Prince Harry behaving badly, bullying the woman, which again, I'm not surprised. The royal family in Africa.
That's that stupid stuff. See, he the only one on his panel think it's Harry. Put a 1 in the chat if you know this is all about Meghan, the Mimi girl. Put a 1 in the chat. Paula's creeps. She creeps up here. So when y'all talking about her, she gonna know. Night, Sassy. Thank you for my super chat. Okay, sweetheart. Listen to this. Where my ones at? Who is he talking about? This is the Mimi show. This is the damn Mimi show. This ain't got nothing to do with Harry. Harry is just a pawn in a scheme. We got a 1. 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 Okay. Yeah, he looked like he's nervous. I needed to just let him know that this was the Mimi show. He act like he forgot and don't know that this is the Mimi show. Nobody is talking about Harry up on this stage other than him. Fro ain't even talking about him. We know this is all have to do with Meghan. It started with it. She went there. They had the Netflix thing that got twisted. They got twisted because they were supposed to have it at a different venue that was free, but they had to find another one because Meghan wanted Netflix there for the Polo documentary, the series. And so since they combined in their stuff with the charity, Meghan brought Serena with her. Put some Vicks. My daughter has been sick and she said, my ear hurt. And I was like, oh, you must got an ear infection. And so I gave her some antibiotics and she didn't want it. Oh God, we fought. Ooh. Kicking and no, mama, no. Like I'm killing her. Okay. Finally pin her down and get it in there. 30 minutes later, oh, it feels better. I said, so the medicine worked, huh? I gave her some more tonight. I know, right? Let's get back to this idiot.
That would be very on point. Why does this have to do with Meghan Markle? Why does it always come back to this witch hunt about Meghan Markle? There seems to be an obsession.
Well, I honestly,
I
think
it's not no obsession. We're not obsessed with Meghan Markle. Unless they love to say that. We're obsessed with Meghan Markle. No, she's the corporate. She's the one that's in trouble. She's the one that starts most of the stuff. She is it. She is the reason why Harry does what he does. That's why. It's no obsession. It is what it is. It's the Mimi. It's Mimi. Okay? Hello? No one's obsessed. Everybody knows that Harry doesn't have a backbone when it comes to Meghan. And then he gets all twisted and stuff and starts being a stupido. A stupido. A big stupido. And the reason why he's a stupido is because he let his wife bounce him around like a stupido. And quit getting the story mixed up. It's always been about Mimi. As soon as he agreed to marry her, it's been
It's a Mimi show, a Mimi show. It's a Mimi show, a Mimi show. It's a Mimi show. Oh, 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 oh. It's a midnight show. The midnight show. It's a midnight show.
It's the Mimi show. It's not the Harry show. It's not the Hee show. It's the Mimi show. It's the Mimi show.
It's a midnight show. The midnight show. It's a midnight show.
Get it right. Ain't nobody obsessed. We just can't believe some of the stupidity.
Fake kitchen, and Mindy makes the fatal mistake of calling Meghan Markle, and Meghan tenses right up and says so tightly, she goes, "Oh, it's so funny you call me that. You know I'm Sussex now, Meghan Sussex now. Don't get it twisted. Can't have it both ways."
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
What has this got to do with Meghan Markle? I mean, this is a story about Prince Harry behaving badly.
Sussex now, don't get it twisted. Can't have it both ways.
I completely agree with Hindi.
What has this got to do with Meghan Markle? I mean, this is a story about Prince Harry behaving badly, bullying the woman, which again, I'm not surprised. The royal family in Africa, that would be very on point. Why does this have to do with Meghan Markle? Why does it always come back to this witch hunt about Meghan Markle? There seems to be an obsession.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll explain. I think they're as bad as each other. I think the pair of them, having made their split from the royal family to go and live in luxury in California, they hit the gravy train quickly by trashing their families. What they found is if they're not trashing their families, nobody cares about what they're doing or saying. And so now they're in a desperate spiral of increasing irrelevance and lack of success, which won't, hang on, Paul, I'll come to you, which won't be as successful because they're not doing the one thing which they had, which people were really interested in. Nobody wants to watch Meghan Markle in a rented property cooking stupid little meals that no one can relate to. Full stop. Nobody wanted to watch Harry in the middle of a cost of living crisis doing a show about polo, the most exclusive, luxurious sport in the world, as you must agree with, Kehinde. So my point is, I genuinely do think they're a pair of little hucksters on the make, using the royal titles, right, to make themselves rich without doing any of the duties that they're supposed to do to earn the titles. And I said for a while, and I say it again, King Charles should remove their titles. Then they can try their luck as Meghan and Harry. But when they're doing it as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, members of the British royal family, it sticks in my gullet. And judging by the polls, it sticks in the gullet of almost everybody in Britain. In fact, Paula is about the only person left whose gullet it doesn't stick in.
No, but this is the point. There's two things which I think are important. One, I think this vilification of Meghan is extreme to the point. Also, actually, if you look at when she joined the family, what was their aim? It was represent the Commonwealth, be in the royal family, do all this stuff, and they really wanted to do that. I think that would have been the worst possible nightmare anyway, because the Commonwealth is absolutely outrageous and needs to end. But that was what they wanted to do. They didn't leave because they wanted to leave. They leave because they were hounded out by this kind of press vilification, which I think we can.
That's that stupid stuff. See, he ain't watching the Mimi show. He know good and well they left because Meghan wanted to be a A-lister in Hollywood. Come on. She invited all the A-listers to her wedding. Get with the program. She was always leaving the UK. And it wasn't the reason why she lied to you and told you she wasn't staying. She left because she wanted to cook Instagram, Confessions of a Founder. She's trying to be what that gentleman said, what'd he say, seen, acknowledged, and some other stuff. I want to thank Nosy Lee for my super sticker. Fro needs to sit her ass under a tree and have a think. Breakfast time over here. Hope your little one feels better soon, Lady L. Have a great night, people. Oh, let's all say goodnight to Nosy Lee. Thank you and come again, and kisses to you. And thank you so much for my super chat. Thank you, Nosy Lee. Yeah, I should have been. I've been and froze up. But listen to him.
Except
that's not true. That's simply not true.
I'm not a big fan of Meghan Markle. Prince Harry. He's 100%.
You mustn't have Monday morning quarterback-itis. The reality is, and I'll bring Maureen in here. I remember their wedding day, how universally well received that wedding was, because it was finally
that was a dream. That was a figment. That died quickly. That was all a dream.
All right. Well, okay, Maureen, I'll come to you in a moment. Okay, Hindi, I'll stay with you. Here's what happened, because your memory is playing tricks with you. From the moment they got married, they had an unbelievably incredibly positive press. Then they embarked on a series of rankly hypocritical moves. She had a $500,000 baby shower in New York on the day they literally posted on X, Twitter as it was then, about the need to remember child poverty. They used Elton John and George Clooney's private jets like a cab service whilst preaching us about our carbon footprint. No, but you're missing the point. I remember their wedding day, how universally well received that wedding was, because it was finally
that was a dream. That was a figment.
This idiot said that it was a dream, like a figment of our imagination, the wedding. That's that stupid stuff. What is he talking about? That wasn't no figment of our imagination. That wedding was 130 million pounds. And you're talking about it was a figment of our imagination. If it was a figment, or if it wasn't nothing, then why did they spend that much money on it? Why did she have all those A-listers there then? That's that stupid stuff.
That died quickly. That was
okay,
all a dream.
Okay, Maureen, I'll come to you in a moment. Okay, Andy, I'll stay with you. Here's what happened, because your memory is playing tricks with you. From the moment they got married, they had an unbelievably, incredibly positive press. Then they embarked on a series of rankly hypocritical moves. She had a $500,000 baby shower in New York on the day they literally posted on X, Twitter as it was then, about the need to remember child poverty. They used Elton John and George Clooney's private jets like a cab service while preaching us about our carbon footprint. No, but you're missing the point. Kahinde, they were behaving like rank hypocrites. So they got criticized for that, and they didn't like it. So their reaction was to then blame the press for being bullies, for being racist, for being sexist. In fact, what the media was doing, which we've continued to do, was highlight their rank hypocrisy. If they don't want to be criticized, don't be bloody hypocrites.
No, it's more than that. I could pick, if I had the receipts here, you could find stories where, Meghan's not doing exactly the same thing as Kate's doing. She's getting called out for it. The way she's been vilified. The way even now, like, this story is not about her. And somehow we're talking about Meghan Markle. This is constant harassment that she's got. And like I said, I'm not a big fan. And I would also stress, I think it's important to say, look, I'm not a big fan of either of them. And I'm not surprised Prince Harry's been accused of these things. But you don't have to be a good person to experience racism. You can have.
Let me tell you something, idiot. First of all, we don't have no reason. Why would we just start disliking someone just because? He's not making any sense. Meghan is disliked for a lot of reasons. And it's not because people just don't like her. That's that stupid stuff. Piers Morgan just sat there and told you a whole story, and then you didn't even listen. No.
Experience racism, be an awful person, and you can go on perpetuate racism.
Can you explain one thing, Kahinde? Because I had to leave my show, Good Morning Britain, you may remember, for casting doubt over the allegations of racism and the denial of treatment for mental health issues that Meghan Markle said she was denied by Buckingham Palace. Interestingly, in his 420-word page or so book, his own story, Prince Harry, neither of those things ever reappeared. They weren't mentioned. It was like it never happened.
No, why was that? His story. Firstly, you did not have to leave. You chose to leave. That was your decision, and I'd say it was a.
Well, I was told to apologise.
That's your choice. I don't know.
I was told to apologise or leave. So I left because it was bullshit. It was bullshit at the time. Bullshit at the time. It's bullshit today. It never appeared in his book because he knows it's bullshit.
It's not his autobiography. Is his autobiography. It's not her autobiography. And when you have a public broadcaster and you have a high-profile black woman say she experienced these things, so many of us have. It's one of the few times she actually felt like one of us in a very real way.
Nobody was racist to Meghan Markle.
It's not true. It's not true. Of course you have to apologize. Of course you have to say, look, you don't know if it happened or not. I don't know if it happened or not.
Why does he talk so fast? No. I mean, he is. Am I the only one noticing that? That he is talking 100 miles an hour? Okay. Shoot. Yeah. You don't understand nothing he's saying. Listen to this.
But I think there's precious responsibility to say, look, maybe we don't know. Give the woman a benefit of the doubt, as we should give.
I think Maureen, if people had accused, if people had said that my family were racist to my wife and I wrote an autobiography, I might remember to include that as a fairly big thing if I talked about it on global television. It just disappeared. It was like it never happened.
Right. You might remember to include that. And you might also not say to, I believe it was either Tom Bradby or Anderson Cooper, when Harry was out flogging this book, that he never said the royals were racist.
Yeah, it was to Tom Bradby, yeah.
That. We know she's not a racist, so which is it? When you're leveling accusations like this, which are reputationally career-destroying allegations, you better have your story straight.
No, but like you said,
hey, Fro, and you in the middle, the guy, if you're going to destroy someone's reputation, career, and everything that they built from the ground up, studied hard, Sophia's got it going on. She's got her own platform of achievements. And then this Fro sitting here talking about it's not okay to talk about it in front of everybody. But Meghan and Harry can tell their story. Oh, and it's conspiracy. It's not really happening. And then this man, I don't know what he's saying. He should have never been on the panel.
Great. Where were the allegations where either Prince Harry or Meghan Markle came and said, look, the royal family was racist? They never said that. They said we experienced these things.
There he go with that dumb stuff. There he go. He done pissed me off. Look at his face, looking like an idiot. He knows good and well that they said that they were racist. Stop playing games.
Racist every time.
They said that members of the royal family, and we found out later, it was supposedly King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, because a Dutch version of
And did they come out and say that it wasn't?
Harry and members of his family, and he then took
which he relayed to Meghan Markle, which she then told Oprah Winfrey. Yeah,
but the point is, the names.
But we're supposed to believe that King Charles and Kate cast, disturbing aspersions over the potential skin color of their child. I mean, Paula, does any part of you believe that?
I have no idea, Piers. I am a person.
You have no idea. You think they're a pair of racists?
I am a person of color. And I come into contact with white people all the time. And some of them ask me about my children. And some of them ask me about the colour of my children. And members of my own family ask me about the colour of my children. And sometimes that can be in a context where I would be concerned about why I was being asked that question. And sometimes it can be in a context.
What the hell does that got to do with anything that we're talking about? And this man right here is a liar. She did say that they were racist. She got an award for it, and her mother said it, and she had several people saying it in the documentary. So at the end of the day, they said that the royal family was racist. So stop it. You can't backtrack it. You can try, but it's not going to work. And, we're not talking about you, Fro. We're talking about the prince and his dodo bird.
Context of where I'm being asked in the same way of what they're having for dinner in the evening. So it totally depends. But can I also just raise, you said that they never suffered racism, where Piers, that that's not correct. We know because Neil Basu, who was the chief of counter-terrorism at the time, and forgive me if I've got his title wrong, but he has had to report that she did suffer with threats to her life, that some of the people...
I'm not talking about social media trolls.
Well, that some of the people who threatened her life are in prison. And so these are serious things.
I'm not talking about that.
But what's important for you to understand, Piers, is the context in which she heard this conversation. So it may be, Piers,
well, she never heard it.
On a sunny day.
Never heard it.
Okay, so what's your point? If the people are in jail that threatened her, okay, they're in jail. Now what? They're not a threat. And we are just telling the truth, Fro, while you're sitting in denial. And don't sit on that panel and act like it was the royal family that put her life in danger. Because that's what it's sounding like. She was in danger with the royal family. Oh, really? Then if she was in that much danger, then why did she agree to marry him? Why they together? If she knew she couldn't handle the heat, then why did she marry him? Because she wants to be on Instagram.
Surrounded by the daffodils.
Hang on, she never heard it.
That she would have,
as you said,
that she would have
she never heard it.
considered Prince Harry informing her about this conversation, and it would have been waters off a duck's back. It may be that for the third time that day, she had heard that her life was at threat from a member of a far-right group, and then is told about this conversation, and then starts to feel even worse.
And you say, and just to be clear, and Kahindi, I can see you nodding along with total agreement that obviously this all happened. Just to be clear, given that Meghan Markle's father is white and her mother is black, why would it be remotely unusual for a family member to say, out of interest, given the fact that her parents are two different skin colours, what would be the likelihood of the skin colour of the baby? Why does that immediately have to be a racist thing? Why can't it just be a genuine question as if you had ginger hair or not?
I've just given you the example, Piers. It's the context that you find yourself in. And if you find yourself in a context...
So you genuinely think King Charles, who has never done anything but promote good race relations around the world, that King Charles or our future Queen, Kate, but you, Paul or Adrian, think you can imagine a scenario where they're like, hang on, that baby's not going to be black, is it? It's bullshit.
I think we can save the discussion about reparations. I think we can save the discussion about reparations and colonialism for another day.
It is.
And I say it's really important.
Totally.
Like I said before, you don't have to like people to think they can be victims of racism, and you could be a really nice guy and still do racist things. The royal family, Prince Charles, is not surprising at all if that's what you thought. I think none of us were surprised. The least surprising thing in that interview was that somebody in the aristocracy could look at it and say, "Oh, how dark's the baby going to be?" And if it was in that context, of course you're going to be upset about it. Meghan obviously.
No, you're not, idiot. You're not going to be upset because you want to know what color the baby is going to be and what the baby's going to look like. No, people are always curious about what the baby's going to look like, especially when they're black and white. But 9 times out of 10, most likely, sometimes, most of the time, the baby comes out more white than black. Look at Meghan. We can't tell, can we? And it wasn't a racist statement. Everybody has debunked it. So get off the panel.
He doesn't have too much knowledge about the royal family, didn't know what to expect. Like I said, this is someone that wouldn't surprise me. But if you really honestly try and tell me that you can't imagine how old's Prince?
Why would the royal family give a damn about what color the baby's going to be? Why would they care? They didn't care. They didn't care what color Meghan was. So why would they care what color the baby's going to be? It doesn't make sense.
King Charles, what? 70, 80 would have dodgy views on the color of children. And you actually shows a complete ignorance of racism in this country.
It never happened. Maureen, what happens with these two now? I mean, it seems to me they're on a sort of never-ending spiral to just really cheap irrelevance. But what happens? What's the view in America about them?
The view in America is that a divorce is on the card for 2025 or 2026. This marriage is in the celebrity death pool. They have been choked off of any and all information pertaining to the royals. And it is so dire that Harry only learned that King Charles had been hospitalized for complications due to his cancer treatment on the news. Meghan is busying herself over here with launching podcast number 2, which nobody wants to listen to, with prepping her jams and preserves for sale at Netflix stores in a couple of malls in this entire country. She has she's hawking her wedding makeup, her 8-year-old wedding makeup on her website with affiliate links so she can get a cut. This is where her mind is at, while Harry's father is in the fight of his life, while his brother.
That was Meghan's makeup. Okay, that I showed you guys yesterday on Instagram. That was her wedding makeup. She's selling her 5-year-old wedding makeup. It's something wrong with her.
Brother, as we know from Jason Nauf, had the worst year of his life, absolutely brutal, with the dual cancer diagnoses of King Charles and Catherine, Princess of Wales. And he's got nothing to do with himself. The reports are that he is lonelier than ever in Montecito. He has no friends. He has zero relationship with his family. We just read that he cut off Eugenie, Princess Eugenie. And so what is he going to do with all this unstructured time?
Hang on, that was, I'm glad you mentioned that.
On how many ways his life has gone wrong.
Well, that was because of me, actually, the Eugenie thing, because she was having lunch with me and a group of people in a pub in London, and I was seen hugging them goodbye. And Harry saw this and went completely ballistic. I can confirm, breaking news, that is entirely true.
You're doing the Lord's work here.
Sorry?
Yeah, so it's extremely grim, and it seems that he is isolating himself further and further. And Meghan can do a cute little video over at Gwyneth's house, but if she thinks Gwyneth is really welcoming her into this contracting health and wellness space for women, she's even more delusional than we thought.
Well, let's go to somebody who may be even more delusional, Paula. Sophie Chanduka says she suffered not just misogyny, but misogyny, yeah, a new word for me. Misogyny directed at black women. She said the board felt that, oh my goodness, the Africans are taking over. I presume, like Yahinda, you would strongly condemn such appalling racism by that board.
If that is found to be the case by the trial that will no doubt ensue, absolutely. It's an allegation that is going to be investigated, and it's important that it is.
So you only believe allegations if they are substantiated in court? You don't believe them otherwise?
It's not about what I believe, Piers, and shock horror.
Well, do you believe her or not?
But Piers, shock horror.
Do you believe her or not?
We don't know the whole truth.
I believe her.
We don't know what's
So
happened.
that didn't stop you believing Meghan and Harry when they were making the claims about the royals being racist,
I don't think you've got me on record at all once saying I have believed anybody. What you have me on record saying is take a breath, be objective, and consider what is being said. That's all I ask. That's all I ask the hate bots to do, quite frankly, because it is wild, Piers.
Kahindi, the same question. This poor woman says she suffered misogyny.
Thank you, TBG. Again for my lovely super sticker. Mwah. I was in London 2 weeks after Harry and Meghan got married. The British people was so beautiful in acceptance of their marriage. The racist stuff is BS. You're absolutely right. Those people were in the street. They opened up their arms. They opened up everything for Meghan. They did. They were there to support her and Harry. That's right, TBG. Thank you so much for my super chat.
Hatred towards black women, and said the board felt that, oh my goodness, the Africans are taking over. You must abhor such racism by that board.
Of course, and I'm not surprised. Like I said, I'm not surprised. You look at NGOs, you look at charities, you look at these wealthy philanthropists and go, it rings true. And I just stress, I believe Meghan because what she said rang true, and I believe the chair of the CEO because it rings true. Both these things can be true. You can experience racism and perpetuate racism at exactly the same time. And I think that's how we should view this.
It's a shame that Harry didn't get his own memo about how you speak to black people, isn't it? Black women.
Well, just because he married a black woman doesn't mean he's not going to be racist, doesn't mean he's not going to have misogyny, doesn't mean he's going to be the perfect guy, doesn't mean he's going to be woke in your term at all. You shouldn't expect anything when somebody marries a black woman and then experiences.
There is nobody woker in the history of the world than Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Literally in the world. The problem they've got is that nobody wants to buy into wokeism anymore. We are done with it. We're done with this kind of nonsensical
So you want to be
bullshit.
asleep. You'd rather be asleep. You'd rather be asleep, Piers.
You know what's happened with woke is Donald Trump got re-elected precisely because of the woke brigade, because they tried to convince everybody that it was fine for biological men to compete in women's sport, that everything was racist, everything was sexist, everything should be banned. They scolded, hectored, lectured us into trying to lead their joyless little lives, and everybody got sick and tired of it. Guess what? Donald Trump got re-elected. Well done, the woke brigade. You got your ultimate nightmare because you deserved it. You deserved it.
And let's see what happens to society because of it. Great. Look at that. White supremacy wins every time. On that one, I agree. White supremacy wins every time.
It won't be my fault. It'll be the fault of those who tried to play the race card when they shouldn't have done. And it was over.
Tomorrow, the tariff starts. Our stock market is going to do something really funky. And then not only is that going to happen, but Canada is going to start putting tariffs on us, the red states. I'm a red state. They're not attacking everyone. They're going after Trump's enemies. I guess I'm part of that. Anyway, I had to bring that up.
Played, and you know it, Candy.
Because I get this. I get wanting change, but change AT2 did a video. It was good today. Yeah, he does. Moon Falcon. I thought it was just me. He's talking real
Way too many
fast.
times.
Underplay, probably. But that's another story. No, this story shows we don't really understand racism. Look, this is actually an important story because what the NGOs are doing in Africa is terrible. What these charities are doing is terrible. That should be the story, not Meghan Markle. It should be actually saying what's happening with these NGOs and charities. But somehow it comes back to Meghan Markle, and that is a shame because it actually is a really.
The reason why Megan's name is in it is because she's the reason why the charity is failing. That's what we're gonna find out.
You have the black woman leader of this charity accusing Harry and his wife,
And
Meghan
his
Markle,
wife.
of behaving inappropriately with the
And
charity,
his wife.
enforcing their Netflix show for personal commercial gain into the charity confines, damaging the charity. They couldn't use a venue they had booked because of it, damaging the profitability of the charity, and so on. It's not me saying that. It's the black woman leading the charity.
Who is also
She's the one
making
accusing them of
allegations, Piers.
misogynoir.
Who is also making allegations, Piers, against Prince Seso of Lesotho. She's also making allegations against other black members of the trustee board. So I think we need to be clear about that as well. It just so happens. It just so happens.
You don't believe her, Paula.
Why do you keep saying I don't believe her or I do believe her?
I find it funny.
What I'm saying is
that you
this
won't
is
believe
currently
this black
in,
woman making allegations.
Piers, with my clients, they ask me all the time, do you believe me, Paula? And my response to them is always, it's not about whether I believe you or not. It's about whether I can tell the judge, whether I can persuade the judge, whether there is a case that the judge can find in your favor on. And at the moment, we don't have the facts. We don't have the evidence. We are guessing and we're making assumptions. But what I do want to say is it's very interesting that what we're hearing from Dr. Chanduka is about Prince Harry and Meghan. We're not hearing about Prince Seso. We're not hearing about the other trustees who also resigned because they felt they could not continue.
Let me tell you why. Because he's not the son of a king. And because she's calling out the head man in charge, which is Harry.
Well, I look forward to Harry and Meghan making a clarifying statement in which they accuse the black woman of lying. Look at you. You see, look. You can't not laugh, you two. You can't not laugh because you know how ironic this is.
Look, I appreciate entertainment, but it's a serious issue. Like I said, it's actually an issue with the charity.
Oh, racism is very serious.
Talking about Trump just cancelling USA, actually, that ties into this, right? Where does the funding come from cancelling USA? There's a whole conversation to be had about what's happening in NGOs in Africa and charity, etc. It shouldn't be about Harry and Meghan. I would say they're basically meaningless in this. They're just avatars for that.
It's about them.
Well, I think they're basically meaningless, full stop. Some breaking news, actually, as we came on air for this, and I'm going to talk to you more because I know you know a bit about this, but Virginia Giuffre, who was the young woman who was trafficked around by Jeffrey Epstein, including allegedly to Prince Andrew, he obviously settled out of court with her, but she's had a horrific accident, hit by a bus, and she's put a statement out saying that she's in renal failure and has been told she may die within 4 days. And there's appalling pictures of her. She says she wants to see her kids before she dies, but that's all just breaking as we came on air. What do you know about this? What do you make of it?
Y'all know about
it is just breaking. We know very little. What we do know is that her father communicated with her via social media, which seems odd to me that he wouldn't have flown or driven to her bedside. That post also implies that she has not seen her children. She says she's begging to see them before she dies, as she is reportedly separated from her husband. And it is a very, very strange post to make, one that I think will only go to, what kind of a witness she was or is. I think it will only, if God forbid she does die, give rise to further Epstein conspiracy theories that this was somehow a hit, or the conspiracy theories that still swirl around Diana, that the royals had something to do with it, that Prince Andrew may have had something to do with it. So I think the story will have legs, but it really goes to the ultimate mystery, which we will never know, which is how many powerful men, exactly who they were on Epstein's list, and how exactly it was that the then most high-value suspect in American federal custody, Jeffrey Epstein, is allowed to commit suicide in his jail cell, if that's indeed what it was.
Yeah, and why did the Queen, at the time, the Queen's second son, pay a rumoured $11 million to a woman he says he never met? Anyway, we've got to leave it there. Thank you for that, Maureen. Thank you to Paula and to Kahinde. Always good to have.
All right, guys, let me stop sharing. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to let you guys go now. It's been 3 hours. Have a wonderful night. I want to thank you guys again for, I know most of you guys have already left, that's giving me super stickers. Thank you, Doodoo Bird, for my super chat. I like that joke Dale said. Thank you, TBG. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Sassy Pauls. Thank you, Nosy Lee. And thank you again, TBG. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful evening, okay?